Hey guys, what's up? What up? What up? Who all is in here? Noah again. D, Ashley Lauren, Blood Moon, a princess. What's up, guys? Morena, hello, Moise, crazy boy. I am not still watching it. I finished watching it today, actually. I followed your advice, Blood Moon. I did the whole HBO Max free trial thing, so I just have to remember to go back and cancel it. I was gonna go. What's up, Marquise? I was gonna go to the movies, but I'm glad I did that instead. So yeah, I watched half of it yesterday, and then the other half I finished it today while I was working. It's like La Princesa. It's 2 hours and like 20 something minutes, I think. Yeah. Like anyway, I'll wait till some more people get in here. Hello, Jose. What's up? What's up? What's up? Yeah, I waited on talking about this because I wanted to actually see it first because a lot of people have been talking about it, but they haven't actually seen it. By the way, y'all, I'm rocking my De Lo Mio t-shirt from my merch line. Okay, don't forget to check out my merch if you haven't already. It has a flag on the back. John does. I'm gonna get to what I think about it in a minute. Just gonna wait for some more people to get in here. Sophie, hi, I'm new. Subscribe because I love your personality. Oh, thank you. Well, welcome. What's up, the only JS? Wow, you're star, Extina. Hola, hermosa. You look dashingly stunning. Thank you, Bobby Sanchez. Always a pleasure to see you. Thank you, Jose. Thank you for dropping the link, La Princess. Hello, fake Chem. Hello, Flor. Hello, so what? What up, what up? What's good, King? Hope everybody's had a good Friday so far. But yeah, so like I was saying, I was waiting to go, live and talk about it because I wanted to see the movie, but I also wanted to compare it to, what I actually saw while I was up there since I was just there. So what's up, Truth Teacher? Crypto Black, yes, I was in Jersey City. I was there for a little bit. Well, between Jersey City and New York City. Yeah, de lo mío, get your t-shirts, men and women. Available in different colors and sizes. All right, got 28 people. Show the merch. I've been meaning to do I've had a few people buy my merch and take pictures on it or take pictures with it. I've been meaning to do like a little promo video showing those of you that have sent me pictures. But yeah. And I'm not gonna talk too long. I'm gonna drop the link soon because I'm sure some of you guys have opinions that you want to share. I see Truth Teacher, you already saying the movie was some bullshit. Yeah. Fridays are always my day off, sunshine. Okay, we already got 31 people in here. Should I just go ahead and start? What's the name of the nice Dominican spot you was in? Though, if you're referring to the place we were at on Friday night, that first night, is called República NYC. Hi, Ashley Lauren. I will just listen and mod. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, República. Make sure, everyone, you're liking the video as you come in. All right. Hello, happy Friday. Hello, Proteus XL. Okay, Matt Cognac said we ready. Okay. All right, we got 30 people. I'll just go ahead and start. Moise, I'm not about to make you a mod. All right, guys. So in the Heights. All right. So as most of you know, I finally got to go to New York last weekend. I was able to walk around the Dykeman area with a few other people. It was at night, but I did get to go back and actually, go throughout the day and see what was going on. And I got to walk through Washington Heights, even though it was also at night. But I at least somewhat saw, what was going on and what the people look like. Now, as far as the actual movie itself, I don't want to give away too much of the plot because some of you may not have seen it yet. So I won't get too much into like what actually happens. But overall, it was cute. It was a cute movie. I'll give it that. It started off a little slow, at least for me, but towards the second half, it got better. It is a musical. So if you're not into musicals, you may or may not like it. I typically am not a big fan of musicals. I admit I did skip through some of the singing. But again, it was a cute movie. I think I'll say this. I think for Latinos overall, I would consider it a win for us. I would. Because at the end of the day, what's up, Aaron B? It was pretty much an entirely Latino cast with the exception of a few people. It's Blood Moon. I'm not gonna lie, I did shed a few tears with what's her name? Abuela Claudia. I did. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't want to give it away. I did shed a few tears, got a little emotional. But anyway, it was an entirely Latino cast, and it did show, or it did briefly touch on some of the experiences that Latinos, specifically immigrants, in the United States face as far as either being undocumented, having left your country at a very young age and pretty much having to go through the hardships of being an immigrant here. It touched on the whole, going to college, trying to buy or get an apartment, trying to own a business here. So it touched on different things that I think Latinos of different backgrounds can relate to, or having to move your business because the rent in your area is getting high, that type of stuff. It did briefly touch on those multiple things. And, of course, it showcased Latin music. It did showcase overall Caribbean, Latino music, whatever. So again, like I said, for Latinos overall, I consider it a win. Okay, I'm not mad at it. They tried to throw every Latino in that pot. Now, as far as, okay, well, let me first get into the thing. Okay, so as y'all know, Washington Heights is a predominantly Dominican area, okay? Now, I understand that this is a musical, and I guess it had to be somewhat appealing to maybe more of a mainstream audience, I guess. How can I say? Okay, so just speaking as a Dominican, and again, being that Washington Heights is a predominantly Dominican area, before I even watched it, my first thought was, okay, are they actually going to portray like Dominican culture? Are the actors going to give you, Dominicans, we Dominicans over here? Like that was my thought, okay? Because, and I was saying this to somebody recently, I feel like a lot of times in Hollywood, when it comes to portraying Caribbean Latinos, it's always like this very generic way of presenting us. Like, we're all the same medium skin tone and we all listen to salsa, okay? That is what I get a lot when I see Caribbean Hispanics being portrayed in a lot of movies, okay? It doesn't really show the diversity between us because, okay, let's keep it real. I mean, there is a lot of shared commonalities between Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, and Cubans, but at the same time, we also have a lot of things that make us distinct from one another. The Heights, yeah, watered down big time, right? I think it was meant to be more for mainstream audience. Yeah, La Princess, that's what I'm thinking. But anyway, so like I was saying, we still have our differences. We don't all listen to just salsa. We listen to bachata, we listen to merengue, we listen to dembow. Like there's a lot of different things. So I was wondering, okay, is it actually going to portray all that? Now, granted, most of the music was salsa. There were two numbers, I think, that were actually like a merengue. And there were like once or twice where it gave like a short clip of like a bachata at like the end of a song, but there wasn't like an actual number that was a bachata, okay? So I was like, it just wasn't giving me Dominican. I don't know how else to say that. Now with the actors, okay, so a big thing was, okay, why are all these non-Dominicans playing Dominicans? Now there were a few Dominican actors, but for example, the girl that played Nina, she's Dominican, but in the movie or the play, she's a Puerto Rican. Then you had Dasha Polanco playing that chick Cuca, but she pretty much had like an insignificant role. She was like just there. But then like the main characters like Usnavi, for example, was played by Anthony Ramos, who was Puerto Rican. And then you had another role. What about the movie did not make it Dominican? It's hard to explain what, and maybe I'm biased because, obviously I'm Dominican, but I feel like Dominicans have such a distinct way in which we talk, in which we carry ourselves. It just wasn't giving me that. I guess I just wanted to see more of that. I wanted to see, I don't know, more bachata, more like our slang, el tigueraje de lo dominicano. Like that's what I wanted to see. But then again, I have to remember this is a musical. I don't think it was meant to really, really portray us, I guess, that accurately. That was kind of more my disappointment. Okay. It just wasn't giving me Dominican. It wasn't. And then, and it's like it was funny because watching, Usnavi, it's like, I know in real life he's Puerto Rican. So it was hard for me to look at him as a Dominican, in his character. It just wasn't giving me Dominican. I don't know how else to say it. It just wasn't doing it for me. Now, the other big thing that everybody has been talking about is the whole colorism aspect. Okay. Now, I get it. And since there weren't really any authentic Dominicans, yeah, it kind of lost that flavor. There's a movie called Washington Heights with Manny Perez that's also very fake. So, okay, so the whole other big thing was the colorism thing. Okay. Now, so while I was in Washington Heights or walking around Dykeman, I think you can say it's very mixed, just the way Dominicans are. I saw a lot of lighter skinned, like tan, not super duper light skinned, but tan colored Hispanics. And, your darker ones as well. So I can't say that the movie was that far off from what I saw in real life. Like, I'm not going to lie. I do feel like some of the comments online were a little exaggerated. Okay. Some people were making it seem like it was just super duper whitewashed. I wouldn't say all that. Now, could there have been a more equal distribution of lighter skinned Hispanics and darker skinned Hispanics? Of course. You did see some darker skinned people where they were more like background actors, or they weren't really like the main actors. And I know I saw some people saying, well, the girl that played Nina, you could call her an Afro-Latina if you want. I guess, maybe. I mean, she got curly hair. You can obviously tell that she's mixed. I don't know, but I mean, you had Benny, right? That was his name. But I mean, he's an African American, so he wasn't even like a Latino in the movie. The darker skinned people were dancers. And I remember like in the scene that's in the salon where they were doing the number in the salon, there were like some Black girls there. But I mean, there could have been some darker people doing more lead roles. That I do agree, because at the end of the day, that's what we as Dominicans are. We're a mix of light and dark people. So yes, overall, it's there could have been more darker people. I do agree there could have been. But at the same time, I don't feel like it was so whitewashed to the point like people were making online. I saw, thank you, Crypto Black, for the super chat. What's up, Robert Lee? They put him, Bernardo Moreno, as main. I saw no white people in the movie. Benny could have been played by a dark-skinned Dominican, more realistic, right? Yeah. Because, I mean, he doesn't even, I don't know. Yeah, there could have been more of a balance. There could have been more. And see, this is the thing. I think if chocolate moreno, darker skinned Hispanics want to see themselves being portrayed more, like you gotta stop waiting on other people to do it for you. And I think that is something we can kind of take from what like Black Americans did here, where they had to start doing their own shit. I think that's what like darker Hispanics are going to have to start doing if you want to see yourself accurately being portrayed, or if you want movies or whatever that show more of the actual diversity in a particular area. And I mean, that's how I feel about that. Again, I wouldn't shit on the movie the way a lot of people have. Again, overall, it was a decent movie. It was decent. It was, like I said, it was cute. It was cute. It wasn't giving me what I would have liked to see, because I mean, how often do Dominicans, of all people, like how often do you see a movie highlighting a predominantly Dominican neighborhood being put in movie theaters for everyone to see? Like, this was like kind of, I mean, I don't know, I would say it was kind of like a big moment for us, but it just, I don't know. It just wasn't giving me the Dominican that I needed. Yeah, I mean, some don't care about it. And again, it's also a musical, so some people aren't going to care for it anyways. But yes, it definitely needed more merengue and bachata. Definitely did. Hold on, y'all. I'm about to drop the link real quick. Movie flopped really bad. Yeah, I heard it didn't do as great as they would have wanted. I watched some Dominican movies when I could catch it on cable when I had HBO, and of course, that though was in the movie. Yeah. It was good. Why the F you lying? It wasn't bad. Like I said, it was, it kept me watching it, I watched it all the way to the end. So yeah, like it wasn't bad. Like the acting was good. Even though I did skip through some of the music, the dancing, the music, it was good. It gave you your generic Caribbean Hispanic vibe. Okay. I just wish it would have just showcased Dominican culture a little more. Dominicana needs more representation in movies, TV shows. Y'all are awesome. Thank you. So it wasn't as Dominican as you expected it to be. It wasn't, John. Did you see the original play? No. And honestly, I didn't even know that this was based off of an earlier actual play. So I don't know if maybe the play is better. I don't know. But just based off of this, because this is all that I've seen, it didn't give me enough Dominican. It didn't have that Dominican flavor that I would have wanted to see. What's good, Jose?
Good evening, Christina. How are you doing tonight?
I am doing good. I love the movie. Watched it twice in theaters. Gonna watch it again. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Again, it's not a bad movie. It wasn't a bad movie at all. Again, maybe I'm just being maybe I'm critiquing it a little more harshly because, again, I am Dominican. So I would have liked to see more of that genuine Dominican culture or whatever. But anyway, and before you go, Jose, the other thing I also wanted to touch on was, and kind of ask you guys, is how you all feel about, Hispanics from particular countries portraying other Hispanics. Because again, everybody was switched up in this movie. You had Dominicans playing Puerto Ricans. You had Puerto Ricans playing Dominican. You had a Mexican playing a Dominican. The owner of the salon, what's her name again? What's her name in the movie? Was it Gloria? The woman that played the salon owner, I think she's supposed to be Puerto Rican. In real life, she's Panamanian. So it's like everybody was playing everybody. And, the other big example of this that people always talk about is, for example, Selena. You had a Puerto Rican playing a Mexican, which had a lot of Mexicans upset. But then it's like, should we focus on the ethnicity of the person, or should we just focus more on how good and accurately they portray the role? Because I think there has to be a mix of both. Because the person needs to be able to embody that person. So anyway, Jose, I don't know if you saw it, but how did you feel about it, or how do you feel about what you've heard? How do you feel about Hispanics playing other Hispanic countries? Like, what are your thoughts on all this?
Well, first of all, if Latinos are going to play other Latinos, what they need to do, they need to be very diligent in their research.
Yes.
Okay, because unfortunately, people have certain stereotypes regarding Dominicans, regarding Puerto Ricans. And growing up, I was with the belief that Dominicans did not like Puerto Ricans for whatever. I don't know why. I don't know how it started. Maybe it's just one Dominican and one Puerto Rican had a beef, and it just expanded to the belief that Dominicans don't like Puerto Ricans. That was the first myth that died. To me, Dominicans, for the most part, they're awesome people, and some of their women, they're awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'd
So,
agree.
yeah, I mean, it's like if I'm gonna be a movie, and if my role is gonna be of Dominican, I need to do all the research I can about the Dominican culture, how Dominicans think.
Yeah.
Because I mean, first of all, there's more to Dominicans than bachata and some culture. Okay, there are other things. I mean,
Yeah.
Dominicans have their own unique culture.
Yeah.
Okay, just like us Puerto Ricans, we have our own unique culture. So if I'm gonna play the part of something that I'm not, if I don't do my due diligence and do my extra study, give honest research, I'm going to end up giving a poor representation. And the fact of the matter is, we have a lot of people who unfortunately have a negative view on Dominicans to begin with. Okay. And I mean, and unfortunately, you have certain people, if you say that you have a girlfriend that's Dominican, oh, she's a choppy. She's only after you for your money. And not all Dominican women are like that.
Yeah.
Okay? I've dated Dominican women. It did not end up well, but I'm not going to burn the whole forest just because one tree produced two bad apples. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And see, you bring up a good point. Okay, so regardless of who plays a role, I do think they do have to do their research and they have to do their due diligence in portraying that character as accurately as possible. Now, bringing up again the example of J-Lo playing Selena, personally, I feel like she did a phenomenal job portraying Selena. So I can't even be mad at the fact that she's Puerto Rican. That, she was a Puerto Rican playing a Mexican. Now, with the people in this movie, like, for example, again, going back to Usnavi, he just wasn't giving me Dominican. It's like, okay, he's over here waving the Dominican flag, but it's just not clicking for me. Like, I'm not making that connection like, yo, you're a Dominican. I don't know. It just wasn't happening for me.
Well, to be perfectly honest, I'm not really into musicals myself. That's not exactly my genre. I mean, it would be the same way if someone actually produced a movie of East Harlem or El Barrio, which is predominantly Puerto Rican. If someone made a movie and made it into a musical, I'm not too sure I'm going to be all that excited to go see it, particularly if you have other Latinos that didn't do their due diligence as far as the Puerto Rican culture and what it is that we think or say or do.
Yeah. What's up, Ramon?
Hey,
good evening, Ramon.
Good evening, guys. How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay.
If you force fictional stories, aka plays to be literal in every way, it wouldn't be acting, it would be a documentary. That is also true. So it's like so it goes back to, well, how mad can we really be if it's not a Dominican playing a Dominican, if it's not a Mexican playing a Mexican? Should we just be more concerned that they do a good job playing the role? So I don't know. So Ramon, I don't know how much you've heard so far. I don't know if you've watched the movie or if you have any opinions based on what you've been hearing people talk about. What do you think about the movie or the portrayal of different people playing people from other countries, or the lack of darker skinned Hispanics in the movie? What are your thoughts on everything you've heard?
Well, we can go back to, say, a movie like Selena. When they were casting the movie for Selena, there was this whole thing that understandably, there were Mexicans and Mexican Americans that were having a problem with the casting of Jennifer Lopez. At least Jennifer Lopez is Hispanic, but she wasn't from the culture. She was from she still was from a different group. To Jennifer Lopez's credit, she had to earn She had to earn the acceptance, and she had to earn the okay from the family. And she has to go. She had to go through a casting process, and she had to learn the songs and the dances and all of that. And eventually, she had to win over that audience. It's perfectly understandable. I could never fault Mexicans and Mexican Americans for having had a problem with Jennifer Lopez's casting. At least she was Hispanic. It's not like in previous years before that, when an Hispanic they will have a gringo or a gringa cast as an Hispanic. It will be a whole white person, North American white person cast in the role. Or like somebody mentioned in the chats, they mentioned the movie Mi Familia, which is a movie that came out a few years before Selena. I remember that. It's about a Mexican American family, and the main characters. The movie had Edward James Olmos, but that was one of the supporting characters. But it also had Esai Morales, Jimmy Smith, and also the up-and-coming Jennifer Lopez. All three of them are Puerto Rican, but they were portraying a Mexican American family. So when it comes to In the Heights, I can only go by what I have heard. I haven't seen the movie. I admit to that. I haven't seen it. But going by the whole controversy about it, when it comes to the casting, my understanding is, as you probably already had said, I couldn't get the beginning of your live. I was on a call. Sorry about that. But you said that there were what I have heard is that there were like a bunch of Puerto Ricans cast as the Dominicans in the Heights. Understandably, as a Puerto Rican, I'm saying it shouldn't have been like that. If the the musical is about Dominicans, it should have been cast Dominicans and Dominican Americans, people that will have represented better, of course. I mean, and I'm not going to disagree with that. Somebody else will say, oh, it doesn't matter, at least if there were Hispanics or there were so-called Latinos. Other people will say that. I will be more impartial about it, more objective, and I will say, well, if the story it's about Dominicans, then it should have been Dominicans cast in the roles. I'm all for it.
Now, to be fair, there were some of the characters were actually Puerto Rican in the movie. So they weren't all Dominican, but then the Puerto Rican actors weren't even, the main ones weren't played by Puerto Ricans. Because again, Nina, she's Puerto Rican, but she was played by a Dominican actor. And the other Puerto Rican, Vanessa, was played by a Mexican actor. So it was all mixed up.
Oh, okay.
And the other Puerto Rican salon owner was played by a Panamanian. So I don't know. This is a very interesting mix up.
But in Washington Heights, are there other nationalities, right? It's not just the Dominicans or the Cubans or the Puerto Ricans. There are other Hispanics there. Up
there. Y'all can.
People that I don't know anything about it. I'm in the South. What the hell do I know? That's why I'm asking. So
I've somebody recently I saw a comment saying that there are other nationalities in Washington Heights, but it is overwhelmingly Dominican.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I see. Yeah. But there was also the other controversy when it came to Lin-Manuel Miranda, which is something that I had a chance to talk about it with Don Jose here and Denise, and on a live that she did about the controversies, specifically with Lin-Manuel Miranda, who is like the main writer of the play, the main person who pushed for the production to go, but because he was, but that's a Puerto Rican thing, because apparently he was in support of the junta that is ruling the whole management of the debt in Puerto Rico. That's a whole other thing. I'm not trying to drag that to your life. That's something that Tina, not Tina, but Denise, she made a whole live about that. There was that added to the controversy, because she apparently Lin-Manuel Miranda was in support of the junta that is supposedly managing the debt on the island, and that's something that was appointed by the Congress of the United States without consulting with the local islanders. but that's a whole different subject. That's something that
Okay.
yeah. But that added to that came out also in addition to the whole casting to the whole casting fiasco of the movie.
Yeah. If anybody in the chat actually lives in the Heights or near there, like I would like to hear from somebody that's there. Jose, you're in New York, right?
Yes, but actually, I grew up in El Barrio, and I live in Parkchester. So, I am kind of familiar with Washington Heights. I mean, it's basically what I call DR North. You can be a Caucasian and you know for a fact that once you enter into Washington Heights, I mean, it's 100% Dominican, you know, with the accent and the aura and how, you know, the flavor that only Dominicans have.
Yeah.
So,
Danny, come on the panel since you also saw it. Oh, we got somebody else here. Who is this? Hello.
Hey, la mejor película es Sankey Panky 1 y 2. Para allá.
What?
Oye, a mí me gusta. Yo soy Sankey Panky.
Oh, yeah.
A todo el mundo le gusta Hanky Panky.
Yo iba, antes de la película salir, yo en República Dominicana andaba en la calle piropeando a las mujeres.
Caso.
Era un duro en eso. 24/7.
Ok. Pues tenemos Hanky Panky aquí ya también.
Yo ahí buscando, con la gringa eran duras.
Yeah. Okay, tú viste la película. Did you see Washington Heights or In the Heights?
Oh, esa no la he visto. Espérate, la primera Washington Heights, esa no es la primera película.
No el play, pero sino la película.
No, aparentemente hay otra película que se llama
Esta película que salió ahora.
Oh, yo no sé de eso.
No, aparentemente hubo una película que se llama Washington Heights. Eso es otra cosa, es otra película que salió hace unos años atrás.
Oh,
it's like another movie that is called Washington Heights. Not this one, not this musical.
Y la película Playboy de los puertorriqueños versus Dominican Playboy. Juegan béisbol. Ellos juegan béisbol contra el equipo puertorriqueño.
Bueno, eso pasa en cada torneo del Caribe, de béisbol.
Sí, pero
del Caribe.
Es una película. ¿Tú no la has visto?
No la he visto. No la he visto.
Ponte a verla, es buena.
A mí no tampoco. No han visto.
Oye, Boca de Piano está ahí.
Ok. ¿Y tú vives en Nueva York o tú vives en Santo Domingo o dónde es que tú estás?
Ahora yo vivo en Virginia.
En Virginia.
Ya.
Está cerca de ti, ¿eh?
Yo viajo el mundo.
Lo dudo. ¿En qué ciudad?
¿En qué ciudad?
Ajá.
¿Tú sabes dónde está Fort Lee? Estoy cerca de Fort Lee. No voy a decir mi locación porque me quieren matar mucha gente.
Nah. This dude playing around. Ok, está bien. No te pregunto entonces.
A mí me están buscando mucha gente.
Están buscando.
Yeah.
¿Qué tú hiciste que te están buscando?
Pelea con todo el mundo.
Después que no sea la migra.
Peleo mucho.
Moacir, I saw you trying to join. Oh, there you go. What's up?
Hey, how you doing, girl?
Doing pretty good. We got our Steven over here.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So I don't know how much you've heard so far, but we've been talking about, the In the Heights musical that came out and some of the comments that people were saying about it. Are you familiar with the movie or what has been said about it on social media?
I mean, I just got stuck back in the old days and sweat and that's my style. I mean, high school is for my daughter, something like this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not from that. I mean, I just saw you right away, but I just I did not hear anything. I did not get anything about it. But I'm not related with the high school stuff because that's my daughter's stuff. That's not my age. I mean, maybe I'm old enough, maybe, but I am an old school. Jordan C. Kids Sweat. Talk to me about that.
Okay. Have you been to New York and specifically Washington Heights? Have you been up there?
In my dreams.
Okay, so you never been. Okay.
Never been. Only Havana and Dominican Republic, and that's it so far. But I have family. I have family in Boston, in New Hampshire, and Orlando, and I think I have someone in the family that is in New York, but Manhattan.
Okay, gotcha.
But I've never been there.
All right. Well, since you haven't seen it, it's a musical about Washington Heights, and it follows the stories of some. You could say they're like teenage age, young adult.
The movie.
So there was a lot of controversy surrounding it because, Washington Heights is a predominantly Dominican area, and some people felt this type of way because you had, non-Dominican actors playing Dominicans, and then there was also like the issue of colorism that people were talking about because people felt there wasn't enough darker skinned Hispanics in the movie. Yeah, like it was mainly like tan, trigueño, lighter skinned people. So, there was a whole conversation about that. So yeah, that's kind of what we've been talking about.
I mean, if you see, that's ridiculous. I mean, Zoe Saldaña could play the role,
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think so. What I was saying earlier, I mean, I was just there last weekend. I was in New York last weekend. And so I got to somewhat see for myself, I got to walk around and see what the people look like. And I saw a mix. Of people of all different shades. Because that is what, Dominicans are really a myriad of many different shades. So as compared to the movie, I was like, honestly, I mean, the movie wasn't that far off from what I saw in real life. But could there have been more of a balance between lighter and darker people? Of course. I think they could have.
But Tina, your skin color and my skin color and my daughter's skin color is the regular skin color in DR. It's not like a Cuba. If you go to Cuba, and something that I'm telling you, if you go to Cuba, you can find people, dark people, black people, blue people, and you can find people like Christina Aguilera. Like, you can find, not separated, but talking about predominant race in Cuba, ethnic group is a white one, and the black is the one that follows that one. But in DR history create more mixed, more than Cuba. I don't know about Puerto Rico. I don't know about that, but I'm telling you, I know for sure. If you go to Cuba, you can find white people, blue eyes, look like German, and you can find black people, black that could be like African descent, direct African descent, and you can find mulattoes like me, or I don't know how do you consider yourself, but I think that you are like a mulatta or mestiza, that we call it like.
Don't use the term mulatto. That's a mule reference. Nobody here is a half donkey.
I know that voice, mi hermanito de Puerto Rico. I know that voice.
Ajá. Sí, ¿cómo está? ¿Qué es la que hay?
How you doing, bro?
It's all good. It's all good. No, when it comes to complexions, what you were talking about, it's not that really different in Puerto Rico. That it depends on where you are at. Because if you are on the coastal towns and cities where you're gonna see more of what you will consider the melanated people, but towards the center of the island, Then you see people that are kind of whiter, and the weather towards the middle of the island contributes to that because it's more chill. Yeah, in the coast is where it can get hot as hell. I mean, recently there was a bit of a heat wave in which the temperatures reached like 112 degrees, which is unheard of on the island. So for the most part, we're pretty good at being under the sun without burning, but we do change tones because of it. We do get tanned up. Most of us.
Cuban and Puerto Ricans, I mean, even Dominicans, we are similar, very, very similar. If Tina goes to Cuba, she could be from Santiago de Cuba, because in Santiago de Cuba, we had back in the days, and I don't know if you know that much about Dominican history, Tina, but after Trinitarios, the political movement after the Haitian invasion and all that, these people after the Trabucazo, these people move on to Santiago de Cuba, and they got married to the Cuban population. That they mix, right, with the Cuban population. So you can find last names like Ureña, Cáceres in that region, right, out there. But if you go to Havana, you can find more split and separated, not in terms of the living life today, no, but you can see people white, and you can find people black, and you can find obviously, the result, the people that mix and all that with the revolution, because it used to be Cuba back in the day used to be racist, and I mean they were making a copy and paste of a style of the United States. My grandma used to tell me back in the days that it used to be like bebedero para negros y drink bebedero para blanco. Like this used to be.
They even copy the split water fountains on there.
Exactly. In some places, not. But at the end, the Cuban Revolution came in, Fidel Castro came in, and everything was, changed and all that for our good, right? For our own good. But at the end, some people, I don't know if you heard that there are very, no sé cómo se dice, I don't know how to say it in English, surrepticio, like underground racism, very, 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 very like a very not secret. That's not the word, but it's like in the air. Surrepticio. I don't know how to say that, but it's like a kind of a racism that is not institutionalized.
Are you saying below the surface? That's what you're trying to say?
That's the word. That's the term. Yes, but it's something like it's not open like that. It's not institutionalized. It's not that you're a nigger. No. Obviously, it's not. I mean, if you go to Cuba, you can find that there's no racism at all. Nothing. Only in some feel like it. Oh, damn. You feel like there's a lot of white people in this place. Then people realize about it. But it's not no Ku Klux Klan, not like that. I mean, it's nothing like that. It's like more like the word is prejudge.
Prejudice.
Prejudice. Yes. Thank you for.
Yeah, prejudice.
Thank you. That's the word. Prejudice.
And if I could just chime in for a second, and the reason why that word exists, because you're prejudging a person based on what you perceive the person is. You don't have any knowledge about the person. So what you do is you see somebody that you do not know. You're going to make certain assumptions. What you're doing, you're prejudging.
Yeah. I want to get the opinion of anybody else that's seen this movie. Like, y'all being shy today. Anybody that's actually seen it, come up on the panel, give your opinion.
So,
can I say something else really quick before I go? Because I need to go. I just wanted to say hello to all you guys. Something that I found ridiculous that's not related with this movie. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
You have some background noise. Jose, I had to mute you real quick.
Okay. But something that I found ridiculous, not related with this movie, but it's about a movie, is about Zoe Saldana playing the role of a Nina Simone.
Oh yeah. Oh
Her
man, that's
skin-
a lot of.
her skin-
Yeah,
they-
that was kind of like I mean,
I mean,
it was a poor choice because
in the cosmogony of African American actors, there was no one single that could be played that role. Really? Come on. I mean, I don't know. With all due respect,
no,
but-
if they had done a proper casting call, it would have been. But Zoe Saldana, quite honestly, she wanted it as a vehicle, kind of like an awards vehicle for herself. Then she went through makeup and she will put like she will put a prosthetics on her face and she will darken her skin to look more like Nina Simone, but it was still kind of like a poor choice, and she got some serious backlash. And
but listen. Do you know, Trina, who is India Irie, the singer?
Yeah.
She could play Nina Simone. She could. I mean,
Is
I
she
don't
still
know.
dark skin? Is she still dark skin? Because I had heard that she had bleached her skin, so I don't know.
India Arie?
India
Yeah,
Arie?
Really?
Yeah, I heard something about it that she had bleached.
Well,
I
I don't know. But for me, she could play the role. But look, the
She could
point
have.
is this.
She could have. Yeah.
But the point is this: there are an enormous group of ladies in the Afro American that could play that role. I found
Somebody
ridiculous.
who could.
Nothing against Zoe Saldana, believe me, nothing against her. She's a good actress for me, and I support her. But in my opinion, she could play High School Musical of the Washington Heights, or it could be even Cat de Luna or any other actress, Dominican actress, could play that role. We have a lot, believe me, a lot.
If you were talking about the role of Nina Simone, somebody who would have been
You got
perfect,
my background. No. Oh, never mind.
somebody who would have been perfect, that is more for a reason, an actual actress, it will have been this actress, Danai Gurira. If you don't know who she is, she was in the series The Walking Dead. She was the actress that had the dreadlocks, and in the movie Black Panther, she was like the lead, one of the main characters in Black Panther.
Definitely, she could.
She could have been. Yeah.
Hey, Tina, I gotta go. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right, that's fine. Well, thanks for stopping by as always.
Hey, I love you guys.
All right, be
It's
safe,
good to see you, man. It's good to see
Enjoy the
you.
conversation with Miss Tina there. It was nice on the visit on Miami. I think it was, right?
Oh, I will be in Miami soon.
Oh, that's good. That's
Yep,
good.
yep.
That's good. Good for you. But the view was nice. You and Fighter together on the sofa there. I mean, having that kind of snack and all that. Remember?
Oh, the live that he
Yeah, I think it was in Jersey. I think it was in Jersey or New York. I don't know. But I saw you. with Fighter.
Yeah.
And I said hello to you guys and all that. I was busy that day. I could not connect, but I did my best.
Yeah.
Guys, enjoy it. I love talking to you guys. And thank you for helping me to improve my English.
It's okay. Be safe, please.
Okay.
All right. What's good, Truth?
Yo, what's up?
What is up?
So, yes, I saw the movie and I didn't grow up in Washington Heights, but I grew up on the concourse in the Bronx, which is right across the river from Washington Heights. If you go up to Fordham Road, you take the bridge, and the bridge will take you right into Washington Heights. So, growing up, I was in Washington Heights very often. I had friends that lived there. So I used to go over there a lot. And here's the thing, like even in the Bronx, there's a lot of Dominicans, right? So the thing is that the movie, to me, Washington Heights was the epicenter of the Dominican community in NYC.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows that. So if you're going to set the movie in the Heights, you can't ignore the Dominican identity,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Now, the thing that I didn't like, it didn't capture that personality of, the Dominican people.
Right.
They just have a whole different vibe, a whole different swagger than like Puerto Ricans or Cubans, you know?
Mm-hmm.
They got their own charisma. It's like looking at like the English speaking Caribbean. There's a different vibe between Jamaicans, Trinidadians, and Guyanese, right? Even if you're going to compare like Trinidad and Guyana, right? Because they both have a very large East Indian population. But Trinis and Guyanese have a whole different vibe, you know? And so that's the thing with Dominicans. You can't just switch one out for the other and anyone can. No. The way they talk, just the way they walk. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Just the way they walk, and even their fashion sense, right? Even the way they wear their clothes, their fashion is different.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so all the things that would give the identity of what it is to be a Dominican American, you know, was completely lacking in this movie. It was really so whitewashed, so watered down. Listen, if you're from somewhere else in the country and you're into musicals, then I guess it's okay. But when you know that area and you know that particular demographic, it ain't doing it, you know? It's like you want spaghetti and meatballs and somebody gives you Chef Boyardee.
Somebody just said, kind of going to that point actually, somebody said the musical were portraying Dominican boys and girls from the diaspora. He's talking about islanders. Diaspora, we kind of all act alike.
No.
About
I'm not too sure about that.
The diasporans that they all act alike?
Mm-mm. No, Dominicans got a definite swagger.
I feel like even Dominican Americans still have kind of like that element to us. Well, most of us anyways.
Even their accent when they speak English is different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anybody right here can tell me I'm saying bullshit if I'm not telling the truth.
It's true though, because Danny, I could tell right away he was Puerto Rican by the way he spoke English. By the way, we got the rational.
Yeah, racista, right? That's what you are.
No, it was good.
I think what's going on. Movie was meh. That's what I thought of it.
I thought you said it was great.
Oh hell no. I'm not a fan of musicals, so nobody was getting killed, dismembered, blowing up, nothing, you know, so it really didn't interest me. Yeah, it wasn't no mystery or thriller or anything like that. But you gotta remember that, you know, these leftist liberals have infiltrated Hollywood to the point where if he would have had an all Dominican cast and it was just about the Dominicans and some Puerto Ricans or whatever else here and there, somebody would have still bitched and moaned like they're doing now about the movie. You know what I mean? So there still would be an issue because you can't please everybody. Me personally, I think dude should have just cast a shit ton of young Dominican actors, you know, to kind of catapult them a little mainstream. But I understand because it's not that easy because not every actor is a good singer and dancer. You know, there's very few entertainers that are all three combined in one.
But they could have dubbed it, you know.
That's like the other aspect of it too, because at the end of the day, they want to make money off of their movie. So
exactly,
some actors already have that fame to their name.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing, you know, you kind of have to take into consideration also. Like we don't have a lot of mainstream Dominican actors here. I mean, let's keep it real. But which we do need more. But that's like, how are they going to get the chance if people don't give them the chance?
Yeah, so, I mean, if I was the one directing that, I mean, first, if I was like producing it, it wouldn't be a musical at all. But anyway, you know, I mean, I honestly would have got like the younger Dominican actors because there's probably a shit ton of them in New York City, you know. Also, this dude, what's his name? The Hamilton guy. That's what I'll call him. I don't know his name, but he's a Broadway guy and an actor, right? So he's trying to transition into that producer, director type role. So that's more money for him. So he has to play to that quote unquote diversity crap. So maybe that's why we didn't see like that bigger cast of Dominicans. You understand what I'm saying? Because he's trying to make a different type of money in Hollywood. So there's that aspect to it too. But me personally, I would have just had Dominican, because who better to play a Dominican than a Dominican, right?
Right.
Exactly.
And that scene, the scene where they're all dancing in the backyard party behind the building.
Yeah.
Me personally, I would have used that as a way to like showcase. So, okay, you saw different flags from there. I would have had like maybe some type of dancing from each different island and country to like differentiate for the audience,
Yeah, and that's kind of like what I was saying towards the beginning. It was a lot of it's always like the same generic, like salsa. We all only listen to salsa, and I mean, I don't know. Like the dancing was good. I'm not gonna take that away from the movie, the choreography, blah blah blah. All that was nice. It was nice, And yeah, they had the Dominican corner over there. Then they had it was like the La Bandera song, right? The Puerto Ricans over here, the Cubans over there. That was all cool. It was all nice. But yeah, it should have been something a little more Dominican. I don't know.
Well, I saw 4 Jamaican flags in it, and I still think the movie is trash. I was looking, they had everybody's flag. I was like, where the Jamaican flag at? I saw 4 of them, but the movie was still trash. You know what it was? It's like they tried to stuff every freaking Latino in that one scene. Like Mexicans are not in Washington Heights like that. I mean, they're there, but they got the Cubans. It's like they were just trying to do too much. It's like when you're making a soup and you're trying to put every fucking ingredient in the damn soup.
Yeah, it's gonna feel. Not everything is gonna fit right.
And if you, I'm sorry, and if you're gonna portray other Latino groups, do your research. I mean, because there are differences with Colombians, there's differences with Panamanians, there's differences with Mexicans, there's differences with Dominicans, there's differences with Puerto Ricans. I should know this because I actually visited DR, Colombia, Mexico, and Panama. So you're talking about, and Puerto Rico. So you're talking about 5 distinct Latino groups.
It's Hollywood. It's Hollywood. They weren't gonna do the research. They were gonna say, "Oh well, these Hispanics in this part of the country, they're just a variation of Mexicans, so that can't be that different from."
Yeah, of course,
hazy about it.
Well, of course, everybody's Mexican, even though you have at least 2 Puerto Ricans, at least 2 Dominicans, 1 Jamaican, and somebody from somewhere else.
Speaking of Mexicans, Stephanie.
You already know.
Hello.
That's right. Little Miss Mexico right here.
Hey, we got a Mexican here. What's up?
Hey, Christina. There's like a lot of feedback. I don't know who has that. I don't know.
Hey, yeah, if you're not talking, guys, mute yourself.
Somebody heavy breathing.
Yeah, somebody's like breathing into their mic.
Okay.
I know it's not me. I'm positive.
Danny?
Nah, I've been muted the whole time.
Okay. All right. Yes, Carlos said our brown queen. So Stephanie, okay, so give us your thoughts on the movie, what you thought about either the acting, the actors, the controversy, we've been talking about, what you think about people from one country playing people from another country. Like, what are your thoughts on everything?
Okay, so number 1, my favorite movie of all time is Chicago. So this is what I like, musicals.
Oh, so you actually like musicals?
I love musicals.
Somebody that likes them. All right.
Yeah, I love them. When Lin-Manuel's In the Heights came to Hollywood many years ago, I watched In the Heights at the Pantages, and then not too long ago, a few years ago, I watched Hamilton as well. So I'm a huge fan of Lin-Manuel Miranda. He's a genius. Like, despite what you could say, whatever you want about him, he's a genius. You could never take that away from him. and I love the movie. I watched it twice already. The first night I went, I bought tickets for myself, my family, my best friend, and then I went again for a second time. And I'm gonna go again before it leaves theaters to watch it again. So I absolutely love the movie.
Okay.
Now me, I'm not from New York. I've never been to the East Coast. Well, just for a layover in Florida. Okay, but I've never been to the East Coast.
Okay.
I don't really know Dominicans. This is the most Dominican interaction I've ever had online, So that's about it. I don't really know Dominicans. So watching the movie, I knew that maybe Anthony Ramos wasn't going to be like he wasn't going to be like the ideal Dominican character that most people probably wanted, but I know that he played Sonny in the Heights musical with Lin-Manuel. Lin-Manuel played Usnavi in the Heights, and there wasn't a huge, like there wasn't any backlash or anything. So then he put his friend. I know it's his friend. He put his friend, obviously as the main character because he believes in him because he's a good actor. He's a singer, so he's talented, and he sees potential in him. So obviously he's a star, like you'll see him more and more.
Yeah.
Right? As far as Melissa Barrera, I know that, like, for example, it probably upset a lot of people that because she's Mexican to be cast as Vanessa. But I always say, like, how many times people cast non-Mexicans to play Mexicans? I'm like, whatever. Yeah, like, it is what it is. All the time it happens. I mean, I get that people can be upset, but in the movie, they didn't say that she was anything. I mean, you could assume that she was Dominican because she was in Washington Heights, but, they never said what she was. So in the movie. And then Leslie Grace did an amazing job. She can sing, she can dance, she can act. I thought she did amazing. I was really upset with all the backlash that she got because, even though she's full Dominican from New York, they gave her a lot of, I don't want to cuss, but they were, saying like, I just felt like it was very unfair to her, just because she wasn't the shade that a certain community wanted.
Yeah.
So, and so
for me, like the whole skin tone thing wasn't as important as the fact that, from my perspective, right? Dominicans are like a very new demographic in the USA. And it's like, finally, there's a vehicle to show them. And they just dropped the ball, So like Stephanie loves musicals. And so she doesn't know the Dominican community like that, especially in New York. But here's the way I would explain it to Stephanie. So, Stephanie, you're Mexican, right?
Yeah, I am Mexican. Yeah.
Okay, now can you imagine?
I can imagine it. It happens all the time. All the time.
So check it out like this. You're Mexican and you want some real Mexican food, and your friends take you to Taco Bell. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's why I always say that I never go out to eat. I always have, like, Mexican food because I know what it's supposed to taste like.
Yeah. So imagine somebody thinking that Taco Bell is representative of Mexican food. I mean, like, for people that don't know anything, okay, yeah, it might be tasty, but it's not Mexican food, It's like an American's fantasy of what they think Mexican food should be. Or Chipotle. Oh my God, Chipotle is even worse.
No, like if anybody knows what it feels like as far as people, like, they take your culture and they make it into something else, it's us. Like, we know. I understand.
Yeah, exactly.
I understand very well.
Yeah, so it's that, it's like, for somebody who grew up around Dominicans all their life and knows that neighborhood, it's like, you know, you're waiting to see something that's familiar, you know, and it just completely misses the boat. It's the same thing like when I see movies where they're trying to portray Jamaicans and they always get somebody, either they get them from another island or they get like an American doing their idea of what they think a Jamaican accent is, and it just makes your fucking skin crawl. Like, you know, you can't tell me that they couldn't find any Dominican actors to play these roles. You know, somebody like Zoe Saldana, okay, she's a name.
But she's gonna be older. You know what I'm saying? I love Zoe, so I support Zoe, and whenever she's gonna be in any movie, I will support Zoe Saldana. But the issue is like she wouldn't fit the age role, like the age.
Yeah,
Okay,
she's already a few years older. Yeah.
Okay, so then you know what? We could invoke the devil and get Cardi B.
Come on, come on, come on.
You want Cardi B? You want Cardi B as which one? Vanessa or I don't think
Not
so.
Cardi B.
No,
Not
but
Cardi B.
for a musical, you have to be a triple
That's
threat.
funny.
You have to be a triple threat entertainer in a musical. You have to be able to sing, dance, and
But,
act.
but they could dub the voices.
That makes it
No,
easy.
they cannot dub the voices. Don't
No,
dub
but
the
if
voices.
it's in a movie, you know, in a musical movie, they dub the music and the voices later on in a studio. That's something that they do after the fact.
Yeah, exactly.
But do you understand that sometimes they'll start singing this? This will probably be like live. They could do pieces like this. Like for example, I hope to God that this gets nominated for an Oscar and they perform this at the Oscars. You gotta sing live.
Oh, they can lip sync their asses off, man. They
Listen,
do it all the time.
you can lip sync if you
Bro,
want to in your
that,
musical. This has got to be true talent.
Look, let me tell you, I'm pretty sure they adjusted the sound even in the Heights. They definitely adjusted the sound. Most musicals today, whether it's a movie or live, the sound gets manipulated. You may not think it does, but it gets manipulated always.
Okay, and I'm saying about singing live. If they sing this live, for example, at the Oscars, you gotta sing live.
They ain't gonna do it live. Listen, man, a lot of these shows, they be lip syncing their asses off, even if it's a live show.
For sure.
You know,
For
like
sure.
all these boy bands, you know, like the way they be jumping and dancing and running all over the damn place. You think they really singing? Like, how the hell are you gonna sing and like do all those gymnastics, man? They be
They're not singing.
exactly.
I mean, I watched the play. Like I know they can do it.
Well, I mean, like that's different. That's Broadway, you know, like
Be surprised.
and singers. But like for a movie, they do all kinds of tricks, and even in live performance, somebody got caught out there like that. Though I forgot who it was, but they got caught out there, you know, in a live performance, lip syncing because like the equipment broke down or whatever. There was a technical issue, but entertainers, they be lip syncing their asses off all the time in their live concerts, you know?
Yeah.
So better to have less
You
talent.
know, I actually didn't really care about it until the girl, the Mexican one, right? She was like, plenty of them came and auditioned. They just weren't good enough. And I was like, ooh.
I mean, truth hurts. Truth hurts.
Listen, you can't tell me that they couldn't have found any Dominican.
Exactly, bro. I was sitting there like, lady, you're not from the Heights. You don't embody the Heights at all.
When has that stopped? When has that stopped other people from like casting other like Latinos into other? You know, it's a come on now, you guys. Now it's very like nitpicky. Like now you cannot cast anybody else
because
in this
she
role.
said no. She said herself she embodied it, and I said you don't. She doesn't radiate the Heights at all.
I have a question.
Okay, we got
light
John.
or dark. She doesn't seem like a Dominican chick from the Heights. Light or dark, it doesn't matter. You know.
Go ahead, John.
Okay, so the main issue that I hear about the
Hello.
Your sound went out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought my mic fucked up for a second. I couldn't hear him.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So the main issue I keep hearing is that there wasn't so-called Afro Latinos or enough dark skinned Latinos, and that it didn't have enough Dominican representation. Because the second part may be true, because always when they make these musicals or these movies, they try to fit the whole United States, they wanted to appeal as to many people as possible. But yeah, it could have been more Dominican, because there's a play based on Dominican culture in neighborhood. But the complaint about not enough dark-skinned Hispanics or Latinos, I don't believe that's even a fair thing to say, because it's not even coming from Latinos that's saying that. Who's the group of people complaining and saying that, really? Like, let's think about it. It's not Dominicans
most
saying
black people wasn't even watching the video, so they didn't watch the movie. So don't start that.
Because really, who's the complaints? Like, who is really feeling this way about that? Because it's not Hispanics.
That's the only ones watching it.
There were some. I mean,
that's why it's flat. That's why it's flat.
Did quite a few saying something like, even like when I posted on my Instagram stories, like, what are your people's thoughts? And a few of my followers that are Dominican, they actually had something to say about it. Even they said, yeah, there could have been some more darker people. So I've seen it coming from everywhere, to be honest.
No, don't say that, Xena. He's gonna say that they've been influenced by the African American agenda.
No, they were.
I mean,
facts.
Uh-oh.
It's the truth. Just go ahead. YouTube. You have YouTube, right? Because you're on here, so you can just go ahead and see all the, all the backlash and who's saying it. So,
bro, I was literally on Twitter watching it. I saw Panamanian chicks, Afro-Panamanian, Afro-Colombians. I even see a Nicaraguan chick complain about it. I didn't care, not my business. I just said that they could have at least used a Dominican person, light or dark,
Because the only Dominicans that I've seen that complained about that were Dominicans that were asked by Black people or African Americans or some kind of group that didn't like that. But regular Dominicans on the average, I didn't see too many. That's really not an issue we really care about so much.
To me, the biggest issue was like the lack of cultural representation. The authenticity.
Yeah, bro. If we complained about it, if Dominicans complained about something, it'd be that it wasn't Dominican enough.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That to me is
that was my main issue with it. It wasn't Dominican enough.
They should have put the movie in the Bronx. It would have been better.
That would have made more. Well, even now,
it would have made
Dominican, but still, I mean, it would have made more sense.
And honestly,
it would have explained the salsa and stuff,
Honestly,
Bronx,
I feel like
all you hear is salsa mostly.
Had they made the movie called In the Barrio, and it was set like in another place in New York,
in East Harlem,
somewhere else. But the thing is that Lin-Manuel is from Washington Heights, so like what are you gonna like? So he can't even talk about his neighborhood. It's like weird.
From there?
Yes, he's from there.
Okay. Oh, I didn't know that.
I mean,
Look, anybody from New York that knows, that been around Dominicans, that been to Washington, has seen this movie. We know this was not it. It was a big miss. But at the end of the day, though, I mean, these people aren't Dominicans, so they're not. You can't expect somebody else to tell your story in a faithful way, So at the end of the day, we're going to need more people from the Dominican community telling their own story, because nobody's going to get it right like a Dominican. That's just the fact of it.
Can I chime in for a second?
Yeah.
You know what it might take? It might take like a big Dominican actor to try to hire other Dominicans to share stories about the Dominican community, because who else can let it share about the history about the Dominican community, but a Dominican that actually made it big? And I'm sure there are big actors in the movie industry who are Dominican, and maybe they need to take the leadership role to try to create a movie about Dominicans, being that they should be able to give a true portrayal regarding the Dominican community.
Blood Moon said Manny Perez does it already. It just doesn't get a lot of attention.
And honestly, that's probably a reason why Lin-Manuel try to cast different like groups of different Latinos to try to get more interest, because he did say that before this whole backlash happened. He said that he wanted to represent everybody. It wasn't about a specific group. He said that.
But then why put it in? Why put it in?
But yeah.
Okay, can I chime in? Can I chime in? If you're going to portray a movie regarding Washington Heights, which is predominantly Dominican, either you find actors who are actually Dominican, or have the actors actually do the due diligence regarding the Dominican community. Because I, as a Puerto Rican, cannot talk to a great deal regarding Dominicans, because my knowledge is limited based on my exposure. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's how I think.
No, I think that's how it should be. But for example, in my community, like all the time, I mean, it's not authentic. Most of the time, when people portray characters that are supposed to be Mexican, they're not authentic. So,
what I think is like,
when I found out Scarface was Italian. Oh, now you can go.
Is that I think it's like the whole American thing, and the whole it's like he's trying to be Hollywood, and he's trying to really sell the movie to the whole country.
Yeah,
I think that's what it comes down to. He wants every Hispanic, or just a lot of people in general, to identify with it. But at the end of the day, I think he should be a little more genuine, a little more based on because it's based on Washington Heights, predominantly Dominican neighborhood. So at the end of the day, it should at least 60%, 70% be more Dominican leaning, and then have some space and some room for everyone else, right? Basically.
Honestly, most people I've met from Washington Heights was like mostly Dominican, then Jewish, then African American. Like, I don't think I ever met many Puerto Ricans from the Washington Heights in the first place. Jewish, yeah. Well, I met a lot of Jews from there, but not really Puerto Rican.
In the Washington Heights, though, they're like up on the hill.
Yeah, I've met a lot of Jews over there. So I'm like, huh. Yeah, I didn't see no Jews in the movie.
There's a section that's just like solidly Jewish. That's like when you're going up the hill, like where the park is.
Yeah.
Going west. That's where the Jews are. They're like on that west side going up the hill.
Yeah, so I thought they was gonna have more groups up there, and I was like, damn, everybody here is Spanish, Well, that's whatever. I saw they had more Mexicans than I was expecting, bro.
On
outside
what?
of Queens,
On what? Where?
In the movie, because outside of Queens, I haven't met
what
many
movie?
Mexicans.
What movie are you referring to?
Nice.
In the Heights?
They said that. Wait, you're saying that they had a lot of Mexicans in there?
No, I'm just saying when they used a Mexican actor, and I was surprised because I never really met a Mexican outside of Queens.
Oh.
Well, actually, there are some Mexicans living in East Harlem.
Yeah.
East Harlem, really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yes. And I was born and raised in East Harlem.
That's cool.
So
it's because it sounded like you said that there was a lot of Mexicans in the movie.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like. I was like, I don't remember there being.
Oh no, I meant the actor. Nah.
So like
I didn't really know. Yeah. She's the one she's in that Mexican show, that LA show. I actually like the show. Her and that other girl.
Vida.
I actually like that show. Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
She's gonna be the lead actress. She's gonna be the lead actress in Scream 5, and she's gonna be the lead in a Netflix series. Also, so people support
Also,
that.
she's here getting money.
And just like something that I kind of like wanted to talk about, like how we're like 20% of the population, but less than 5% in Hollywood, in TV and film. We are super underrepresented, and people were saying that we have too much representation.
I don't see how.
I know, but that's what there were a lot of people. I don't want to say what group, but they were saying that we have a lot of representation where we have less than 5%.
Interesting.
And
well, to be fair, a lot of Southern Europeans take Mexican roles. There's a whole Italian woman that plays a Mexican chick on I think it's a Mexican TV channel. I thought that was kind of funny.
I mean, they'll go as far.
I found even what you said?
They'll go as far as play Egyptians in like Egyptian movies and stuff like that. They'll put straight up white people portraying like old Egyptian movies with like horrors and stuff like that.
Wow. They really like centering themselves in everything, and it was funny. Like when I found out,
well, it has to do with Britain. That's why you see all those movies made that are supposed to be about like Greece or, Egypt. You notice they always have like the British accent.
People of Rome.
Fucking hate that accent. That accent is everywhere. It's so fucking annoying.
Well, when I found out another reason why the cast could have been so mixed also was so that no one actor gets typecast, because that happens a lot too. You could be playing you could be a Dominican playing a Dominican, but then you end up getting typecast as the Dominican in some other movie. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, that's a point.
Yeah, that's the only role you play now, Dominican.
Yeah, you get pigeonholed for that one thing.
Or even worse, that you play a particular type of Dominican.
Exactly, like the drug dealer or, something like that. They do that a lot in Hollywood too. You see a lot of actors, they're in all these different movies, but they're usually playing the same role, just a different name, different clothes.
Every single time. Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's where some people get their perception on Dominicans. They see a movie, they see a couple of characters, that are Dominican, and then automatically assume they represent the entire community. I mean, Dominican community, it's huge. You have different aspects. Christina, am I wrong on that assumption, or am I correct?
Well, on what exactly?
There are many different aspects of the Dominican community.
Yeah.
Wait, what was?
I mean, they used to have. That's where the drugs came from. Well, that was the plug. The Dominicans up in the Heights. So that's the plug.
Wow.
So fun fact: nearly 25% of Latino characters are depicted as criminals, and linking Latino characters to portrayals of crime and criminality elevate perceptions that members of this community are threatening. So that's like what we play the most. It's criminals, and then it's poor people, and then it's religious people. Those are the three typecasts.
Well, yeah, because that who controls the narrative.
Actually, now that you bring up religious people, that was something that stood out to me too. And I don't want to give the plot away, but after a death in the movie, the Alabanza song, and it was very like, it definitely showed like the religious Catholic aspect of Latinos or whatever. Also the scene in the tunnel, I was like, yo, I was just there. That was kind of cool. And what's it called? The 190 tunnel? Is that what it is? 190, right?
I think like on the one line or the A line. I'm trying to think. One of those two subway lines.
Yeah, whatever it is. I was like, oh shit, I was just there. That was cool.
Oh, and check out my
Hey, merch, y'all.
Yeah.
All right.
It's high quality. I love it. It's
little meal. Y'all get your merch, men and women.
You know.
I'll check it out.
But
I love it.
But speaking about Mexico, I had the privilege to visit Mexico 2 years ago. It's a beautiful country. I mean, I was there for about a week. We arrived in Mexico City. Then we went to Guadalajara, and then we spent like about 5 days in Puerto Vallarta. It's a beautiful country. I really enjoyed my time over there in Mexico.
Oh yeah, I've been to Puerto Vallarta. I've been there.
And I actually sampled authentic Mexican food.
It's good, right?
It's awesome. It makes the so-called Mexican food over here kind of like crap.
Right. It's true.
A lot of Spaniards play Mexicans. I remember there was the one novela. I think that Teresa, the girl, isn't she like French or something? The girl that played her, Angelique Boyer. I think that was her name.
Angelique Boyer,
something like that. Yeah, I think she's French. So I mean, yeah, you see it a lot in movies, shows, novelas. People always cross playing each other. I mentioned this before, but the movie about Las Hermanas Mirabal in the Time of the Butterflies, that it was again a bunch of non-Dominicans playing Dominicans. I was like, bruh, come on, man. Bugged me a little bit. And it wasn't
I don't think it's bad to play another if you get the feeling right, Like what Trudy just said about playing Jamaicans with that terrible accent. I hate it. I hate it with that passion.
I mean, y'all Jamaicans have such a specific accent. It's like if you don't get it right, it just throws it's like a whole actor away.
Terrible.
Yeah.
They can't get mon. Oh my God, man.
every sentence, mon.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Teacher, who are the ones that are saying mon? Who are you talking about?
People that are pretending to be Jamaican in these movies.
But they can't get the slang or the patois right.
They can't get
you don't even really need patois, because you can use standard English with like a slight Jamaican accent. It'll come off fine. But the exaggeration. No, man, but can't be that, man.
But you know what? People go overboard with the so-called accent, and it really destroys it.
Yeah.
They need speech coaches.
But I don't understand why they can't get it right. Because, like, for example, you have like British actors, and they study their ass off to get an American accent, right?
Yeah.
They figure it out.
There are many of them. There are many of them that they start their careers in Hollywood by playing somebody evil, so playing the bad guys, There are a couple of examples that I can give you. The late Alan Rickman, his very first role was in the movie Die Hard. He played the main bad guy, and it's a common thing. I mean, European actors playing bad guys in Hollywood movies, and then their careers take off. It happens a lot.
Interesting.
I'm
sorry.
Go ahead, Jose.
No, I was about to say I'm gonna call it a night because it's getting kind of late for me, and I do have things to do tomorrow. First of all, Christina, thank you very much for being extremely gracious to allow me to enter your stream to say my 2 cents. Guys, it was a pleasure to hear from all of you. You know how I gotta end. Please be safe out there, because unfortunately there are crazy people who want to do us harm. And then you have the mentally challenged people that if we're not careful, we might end up getting infected by their stupidity.
That's
Yep.
Okay. So good night. Be blessed and be safe, please.
all
Take
right.
care.
Good night.
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 Night. You know that hey, Xena, you ever watched Godfather of Harlem?
Nah.
I did.
Oh,
wait,
they got a Dominican actor in that.
Nah.
They got a Dominican actor in there.
Okay.
He's really nice. He's a really good actor.
Okay. So I was gonna say, so despite all the criticisms, whatever, would you guys agree, kind of like what I was saying at the beginning, that for Latinos overall, you could consider this a win for us? Do you guys think so?
I think that.
Well, besides that,
I think that it was supposed to be that, and then, I think a lot of people bashing it. It just
Well, I
overshadowed
think
that.
bashing actually helped it.
I definitely don't think that it helped. Definitely don't.
I mean, let's be honest.
I think it did because it got more people talking about it.
Yeah, bro. Without the
pretty much
bashing, no one would know
boycott it.
about the movie. You know what I'm saying? Who wanted to boycott it?
People, go ahead and put In the Heights and put boycott on Twitter search. Go ahead and do that.
Look, let's be honest. No one was really talking about the movie like that. Let's be real.
If you go on YouTube, you have YouTube,
million.
You have YouTube. Go ahead and put In the Heights
You know what
and
I'm
put
saying?
colorism. Put In the Heights colorism on YouTube.
It wouldn't even matter if
all the
somebody says
terrible
to boycott a movie. If someone says boycott a movie, and be like, huh, why? And most people will be like, okay, let me go see why they want to boycott the movie. And they'll actually watch it, Movies with controversy always get.
A lot of the controversy is what made me watch it, for real.
See, me too. I was like, what? I was like, it doesn't feel like the hype. Let me watch it. I'm like, yeah.
And then, but I saw a lot of people saying, well, I'm not going to watch it. Blah blah blah. Like it has, something about colorism, and so I saw a lot of people saying that.
That means they weren't going to watch it in the first place.
I keep it 100% real. I got HBO Max because of the 4-hour Justice League, the uncut one, and
yeah,
that's why I did it too.
Yeah, I was bored as hell one night, and you know how you like fall asleep, you take like a 20-minute nap, but then you wake up and you just can't get back to sleep. And I was just scrolling through HBO Max, and I just said, let me see what this bullshit is about. And then I just that's how I watched it.
Bro, there was way too much singing.
It's a musical.
It's a musical.
I know, but damn, man. They were walking down the street, right, having a regular conversation. Is this the way that I'm supposed to go? Like, come on, man. We don't care.
Yes, hey, we got Robert Lee here. Hello.
Coloca mi gente.
What's up?
So I wanted to share real quick. I'm out with my girlfriend, so I told her give me a few minutes, so I don't want to get upset and hit me with something.
Okay.
But well, I didn't get to see the end because I actually fell asleep because it was like late at night. I mean, my whole thought on the movie was like, if you take all the politics and all the controversy out of it, to me, it was like a Latino version of High School Musical. I mean, I guess that's kind of what they were aiming for. I mean, I thought it was cute. It wasn't terrible, but it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess I look at it from this prism of like, well, all these people are complaining about colorism and all this other, but I'm like, we've had like movies. I don't know if it's a thing like because of social media or if it's just the times that we're in, because like, I think of all these popular movies and TV shows that we watch where actors are playing characters that aren't necessarily reflect that nationality, like Scarface. Scarface was about a dude who was a Cuban mobster. Al Pacino's not Cuban. That dude's Italian.
He's Italian. I was surprised when I heard that, man.
Yeah, like his accent, his Cuban accent is terrible. Because I'm half Cuban, by the way. I'm Dominican and Cuban, and his Cuban accent is terrible. Like that was god awful. But it's like one of the most popular movies of all time. I watched
the drugs, man.
Yeah, one of the most popular. One of the most popular movie accents.
Exactly, and and again, if that movie would have came out maybe in 2021, there might be controversy around it. But because it came out like I think in the early 90s, like we don't even talk about it. Like I watched Chicago PD. John Ceta's character is a Dominican. He's a Dominican cop, but John Ceta's Puerto Rican. But no one's like complaining about it. That show Beauty and the Baker. They're supposed to be a Cuban family, but Victor Darsouk is Dominican. and no one's, so it's one of those things like, I don't know. It's like we kind of pick and choose. Okay, no, we don't like this. Oh, but we're okay with that. So I don't know.
That's a great point. That's an amazing point.
So it's like selective outrage.
Yeah, I mean,
no one's watching Chicago PD to see the Dominican actor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You watch Chicago PD to see crime, and crime fighting.
Yeah. I mean,
I thought he was Mexican. I didn't know he was supposed to be Dominican.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure most people that watch it,
too.
they think he's Mexican, right? Yeah, I think he's Mexican. I didn't know. Okay,
that guy John
he's
Seda,
actually Puerto Rican.
The guy John Seda, he played Chris Perez, who was Mexican, and he's Puerto Rican. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
But the Al Pacino thing, bro. Let's be honest. No one watched it cared about Cuba. They cared about the drugs and the selling and the money and shit, man. That's why they watch it. That's why we watch Scarface. Oh, you talking to me? Say hello to my little friend. Nobody cares.
That was a terrible Cuban accent.
No, Cubans don't talk like that. Cubans
speak English.
No.
We want to see the shooting. We want to see the drugs.
And the thing is that accent is so popular for people that are movie fans and Scarface fans. They try to emulate that accent all over the place, and other movie fans, movie stars, rappers. They all try to do that.
Ramon,
it's terrible.
Fighter Complex caught somebody doing it on YouTube. That's how popular that accent is.
I mean,
and it's all off. It's all off. We know that Cubans don't talk like that. They don't speak English like that.
Yeah, and I know if you guys watch, I don't know if you guys ever watched that show Power, but they had the Dominican gang in the show called the Tainos. Well, most of those actors that play
Tainos.
Yeah, that was like the Dominican gang in New York. So Power, I don't know if you guys know about Power, but it's the show about basically drugs.
Yeah.
And so they had the different gangs. And the Tainos were the Dominican gang in New York. Well, all the actors that played the Dominican gangsters, one of them was Cuban. I think two of them were Puerto Rican. So it's one of those things. Like again, like is this just really like a thing of social media, and then just like the time that we're in with everything that's going on, and also too what I'm starting to see too, and I saw this on Facebook and it really outraged me. But I'm in Facebook jail right now, so I can't talk about it. A lot of people were using this to say, "Oh, well, do y'all think that there were no Afro-Dominicans because Dominicans like to deny their blackness, and maybe because that's?" And I'm just like, "Come on, guys, no, let's not start with that." Like, first of all, there were no Dominicans in charge of casting. Like, the dude that's in charge of casting is Puerto Rican or Puerto Rican descent. So like, I mean, people are trying to use that to say, "Oh, well, you see, those Dominicans, they see how they deny their blackness. They didn't want to put no Dominicans in the movie. They want to only put the light-skinned Dominicans in the movie." And I'm just like, guys, you're like, no, let's not. So I don't know. I mean, again, take the politics out the movie. It was a decent movie. I mean, it was all right. Nice movie to take your kids if you have kids.
There's a lot of people talking about it though.
Yeah. But I think a lot of it's just kind of like we're picking and choosing what to be outraged about, because we see Zoe Saldana, she plays like African-American characters. I mean, I don't see people going up in arms like, "Oh my gosh, she's playing this African-American character." She's done it her whole career.
That was more color.
Well,
but that was more color.
Las Alonso, same thing. He plays a lot of African-American.
Cameron played Alpo, a Puerto Rican.
I mean, it's just like, why are we trying to make this so political? Like, I don't understand, now, personally, as a Dominican or half Dominican, would I have liked to see more Dominicans that look like myself? Yeah, of course. I mean, that would have been nice. I mean, I'm not from New York. I've been in New York, but I'm not from New York. I mean, I would like to see more Dominicans that look more like myself. That'd be nice. But I do understand in Hollywood, if you Google Dominican actors, there's really not that many, or at least not that many in Hollywood. I mean, now I could be wrong about that, but I really can't find any that, or at least not many that look like myself. I mean, every time I Google that, I keep getting pictures of Las Alonso.
Yeah. What's good, Radical?
Yo. Are you talking about actors?
What's going on? What's up? What was it?
What's going on, Radical?
Hey, what's going on?
Wait, bro, you talking about actors that are dark?
Well, like Dominican, like I guess the Afro-Dominican actors, like if you Google it, like sometimes.
Oh, like playing Dominican or just like.
Yeah, like, if you Google like, hey, famous Afro-Dominicans in Hollywood, you don't really see that many.
I just gotta say, I gotta applaud you. Like, was your name Robert?
Yeah.
I can see like you're like I don't know, like you're like really like level headed, like you know what you're talking about.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What
You
I
should
what
watch
I what I will say.
Wait, hold on.
Godfather in Harlem.
Go. Hold on, D.
What I will say is that I'm gonna have to agree with Robert. I think this is like selective outrage. You know, a lot of like this whole, you know, no Afro Latinos are in the movie. I doubt and I don't believe that this was done by Black Americans. Like, come on now, that's idiotic to even think that. But I think that it was a plot just to push the movie.
What do you mean?
Again, I think it was a
Who
plot
did it?
it was a plot just to push the movie. And you know,
Who cares about
sensationalism,
color so much?
excuse me, I'm speaking. Sensationalism sells. So the majority of people who watch the movie are probably watching it because of the backlash that it's receiving. You know what I mean? Again, I because I believe the numbers were tanking, and HBO Max doesn't really report numbers like that. They probably chose to spend something that was basically a nothing burger. You know what I mean? To spin it out of control. Do I believe that Afro Latinos do need a representation? Of course, but this is not the way to, I think, do it. Lin-Manuel is not gonna really control anything or whatever the case is, but if he did, then you know he definitely should have put a little bit more effort into the casting of it. My thing is, I agree with Christina that, you know, the Dominican culture wasn't really represented in the movie, and I think the reason why it tanked because the energy of the Dominican people wasn't really represented the right way. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to be funny, but the sazon flavor was taken away from the movie because I believe that energy was lost. That's basically what I gotta say.
Can I ask you a quick question? Would you say it's because it had more of like kind of like an Anglo, like more of an Anglo kind of like westernized flow to it versus that Dominican like Latino flavor to it?
I wouldn't say that. What I will say is that Dominican culture wasn't depicted the right way.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was just a generic Caribbean, generic Spanish.
Yeah, that's all.
It's a Hollywood.
That's all I'm gonna say.
An American's idea of what they think generic Latino culture is. That's
exactly
really what it is.
It's the
and for
Hollywood.
somebody like
the Hollywood
Generic
culture.
Latino, like
and for somebody
like
for
Taco Bell.
Lin-Manuel to actually grow up in Washington Heights and he produced and didn't even fact check or anything, this crap is a slap in the face to that community.
And I guess what I would say, I mean, and again, I don't know how much control he had over casting, you know, because, you know, sometimes the director directs and then they have a whole separate casting and they have casting crews that handle that sort of thing. So you don't know who, you know, because again, he has to answer to the producers. So, you know, if he comes up and he says, hey, I want to cast, you know, this dude right here. And
he's a producer himself of the movie.
Again, I apologize if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, let me know. But yeah, I mean, you know, you don't know who he's answering to. Now, if he's the producer, then yeah, shame on him. But if there were people that were in charge and like telling him like, nah, man, we can't put so-and-so in the movie, then it's kind of like, again, and it just kind of goes back to my point, you know, some of these shows and movies, you know, they put certain Latinos out there. And again, you don't know who's in charge and who's the one calling the shots because, yeah, you're getting mad at the directors and stuff. But how much say-so do they really have over those casting decisions, you know, because at the end of the day, the person that's footing the bill is the one who may get final say.
At the end of the day, I think in year 2021, more than ever now, we know the difference between groups and social classes, gender, culture. Like now more than ever, we're so hyper aware of all of those things that I don't think this should have been of an issue. I don't even think that him, because I know he wants to pander to the whole country and everybody, so you got to make it a little general. I think, let's say if it could have been 100% Dominican, he could have at least made it 60-40, 70-30, and still get good results. and still get very good results and pander to the whole country. Because at the end of the day, he's depicting a Dominican neighborhood.
Yeah.
Now, sure, you have other Hispanics and even blacks in the neighborhood, but it's the culture. It's predominantly Dominican. So I think now more than ever, he could have taken that risk and just been more specific and more targeting Dominicans now more than ever. He wouldn't have lost in what you call it, he wouldn't lose any more views or any more
public opinion.
popularity.
I mean, after the scamdemic is over, maybe he'll be able to release something else and see how it does in the box office, as opposed to it being released on a streaming service where they're not reporting. You know what I mean?
Because I started seeing in Instagram, I started seeing even other people now doing plays about their neighborhood. I saw one, like, they started inspiring other people in other groups doing plays. Like I saw one about Harlem and some other stuff. So people are feeling the vibe and saying, "Oh, these people represent. Let's represent too."
Okay.
Yeah. What I'm gonna say is, I was born and raised in the Bronx, and if I'm gonna do a movie in of the Bronx, I'm not gonna do it just on Arthur Avenue. I'm gonna do it all over the place. I'm not just gonna depict, one set group of people. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, I think when you're doing like a big production like that, I don't think you can afford to just not pander. I don't want to say pander, but have a movie that's only really catered to one group of people. Because obviously, when you're making movies, you're trying to get like millions back in return. So it's one of those things. Like it's a double-edged sword. If I only have Dominicans in here, is this going to appeal to the masses? And again, it's just one of those things. Whereas if I'd maybe just had it just be like an HBO movie, or rather just had it maybe just be like one of those streaming movies instead of a big screen movie, I can maybe afford to just have it be just mainly Dominicans and be fine because, hey, it's a stream.
I'm gonna have to disagree with that.
I agree. But like,
You're smart, Robert.
$100 million on it, bro.
You're a smart man, Robert.
$100 million.
I think now more than ever in this day and age, I think he could have taken that risk.
Yeah,
I think it still could have sold.
Yeah, I mean, I do think he should have taken. Again, I'm saying I think he should have. But I'm trying to look at the other, like, think about what from the business side of it, the money. I'm always thinking about the money. Because at the end of the day, I try to think about, okay, what was he going through in that room? What were they thinking? What were those conversations like? And that's kind of what I try to think. Again, I agree with you guys. I definitely think he should have taken that.
Think about it. When you want
what it
food
really
from a
would have
certain
happened.
culture,
If that would have been the right energy of Washington Heights, best believe everybody in the Heights would have had screenings, movies. It would have been going crazy, even in the Latin community. The shit.
Yeah.
It didn't have the energy of the Dominican people.
No, definitely, you guys are right.
So I don't think it had to do with anything. Well, he didn't want to take a risk with real Dominican. Nah, get out of here. Didn't somebody from that documentary or movie from the Central Park 5 or whatever, one of them was an Afro-Dominican. You mean to tell me he couldn't get one?
Oh,
he couldn't get in the role? My man won an Oscar, bro. Come on, now.
I'm with you. No, I'm not, bro.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
So what I'm saying is let's really look at it for what it really is, It didn't really have I'm just going with the energy because I've seen it and it didn't have the right energy. That's all it is.
You're right.
It was basically sazon with mayonnaise put on top. That's all.
That's so gross.
It was too Hollywood.
So he can sing, he can dance, he can, you gotta be a triple threat.
It don't matter to me. The whole point is, at least have some authentic Dominicans. If it's gonna take you a year or two to learn all those traits, then do it. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna really have that same energy, I'd rather have a flop with sazon with mayonnaise on top, or actually have something really good. Come on now.
Dude, you're like I said, like you're 100% right, and I'm like I said, I'm with all you guys. Again, I'm just trying to look at that other perspective, just trying to think about. And I guess, like I said, the other thing, like I said, I just keep looking at it. I'm looking at all the outrage, and I just keep seeing like, well. And I talked to some of the, because we have a growing Dominican population here in Houston, and most of them were just kind of like, it is what it is. Like they had kind of such a nonchalant, huh?
You from Houston?
Yeah, I live in Houston. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I used to live there. That's what's up. Yeah, there is a growing Dominican community.
Yeah, it's growing now. I remember back in the day, it used to be like non-existent.
It used to be rare, super rare.
Yeah, I mean it's becoming more common now. But I talked to a couple of Dominicans out here, and they're just like, like they have such a nonchalant attitude because they're just like, it is what it is. It's Hollywood. What did you honestly expect? Like, did you really think they were gonna get it? So they gotta have this attitude.
I saw the same thing.
Exactly.
Some Dominicans were pissed off. Some weren't. They were like, it's whatever. I saw the same thing.
We're not complaining about the whole Afro Latino thing. It's not us.
What I understand is that when it comes to the studios, they're supposed to do the research as to the target audience, what is expected, what the target audience expects of the movie when it comes to delivering. I mean, so many of these movies that are made by these studios, they put all of these millions of dollars into making these movies, and they're dead on arrival because they made shit. I mean, they don't know what they're doing, wasting all this money. They're supposed to do the research. Don't they have a research department that they gather data, info on target audiences, so they have a better idea as to what they're doing? Aren't they supposed to be doing that? And other
it has to be fit into a budget also. So everything has to fit into the budget that they have when they're making the movie. And let's say the budget is let's say the budget's $1 million, they have to keep within that budget to keep everything rolling. Once everything is edited and it's ready for the studios and stuff, then, opening night within the first couple weeks to like a month or so, that's when you recoup that money.
Yeah.
But aside from the Afro-Latino criticism, what other criticism has there been aside from that?
I mean, I think mainly from what I've heard, it's just like, it just wasn't, the story was just like it was just a very typical story, nothing fancy, nothing.
It was bland, very bland.
Yeah, very bland. Just nothing.
It was.
I mean, they wanted to keep it family friendly. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, and again, that's what I think. I think that if you take the politics, that's really what it was supposed to be. Was just a family friendly movie, and it just got really political. Like my girlfriend, she was watching it while I fell asleep, and she was just like, I've noticed like the few scenes where like I guess people did kind of speak Spanish. If y'all notice, and they've been doing this for decades. Every time they have somebody speak Spanish in these films, they have this very generic, bland accent, and again, it's just like it's not authentic.
I
It's
think
just
the most Dominican thing I heard in the movie was somebody said something about la pámpara prendida. That was
exactly.
It. That was
it. Like in every scene, they're always just like, "Hola, ¿cómo estás? Bien."
Somebody said carajo.
He just wanted to sell it to everybody. That's too funny.
Any gringo can say those words.
I think more than ever now we should be evolving in how we portray ourselves and portray it in film. We shouldn't.
But are we actually portraying ourselves, or we're expecting someone else to do the portrayal?
Because that's what he did. What he did was very Hollywood.
Our image could be controlled. Our image could be controlled by us, but the thing is, once our pockets, vote for that type of negative image, it's win or lose. The thing is, there's a bunch of Dominicans who don't do none of that negative portrayal. But look what Stephanie just even put out, that statistic that we're either criminals, poor, or religious. Those are the three portrayals. So there's plenty of Latinos out here that don't portray that whatsoever, but yet we're still being portrayed that in movies. And it's not up to us. It's up to us to actually make a stance and say, this is some bullshit. We are not going to support you if you're going to keep on portraying us like that.
Radical.
Yeah, no, that's right. All you got to do is not buy the movie ticket or whatever,
Well, how dare you think rationally? Stop thinking rationally.
Radical. What are you talking about?
Then you're gonna have someone will make a movie about a poor religious criminal from DR or PR or some shit.
But I also think, like I said, now more than ever, and even Lin-Manuel Miranda, I think somebody said he's from the Heights. He obviously knows better and know what the culture is, and now more than ever, we should be portraying a genuine depiction. It will still sell because it's a taste, it's a flavor that you're gonna go see in the movie. Like if you want to go to the Mexican restaurant, Dominican restaurant, I don't know, Chinese restaurant, you're gonna go to that for that flavor, for that food. So this film could have been that. and still have some other spices of other Latinos and other groups in it, because this is New York City at the end of the day.
Well,
It would have
also,
still mainly Dominican though, and he still
also,
would have made. I think he would have made much more. Listen, I think this would have sold a lot more if it would have portrayed Dominicans, and that way people got to know this new thing that is not known throughout the whole country, instead of trying to pander to the whole country.
I mean, also you have to take into account, like, you know, me personally, I'm not into musicals, so it was just meh for me. Like the dude said, it's like a good movie, like, you know, to bring your kids to watch and stuff like that, if you're watching it with your girl or whatever the case may be. But you could also look at it as a positive. You know, maybe this will open the door for other types of movies based on like Dominican culture or history, or Puerto Rican culture and history. You know what I mean? They might not be blockbuster movies, but it's something.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you. Like, again, I'm not into musicals.
Radical,
I
you
did
always
enjoy,
agree with me. Stop it.
I did enjoy some of the musical numbers, but again, nobody's doing 37 backflips to go to the bodega singing. All right, so
Yeah.
that's not a real thing. But I understand why it was like I enjoyed it for the entertainment aspect of it.
Yeah.
Again, the storyline of itself was bland, extremely bland, and all the other. I did see it was too much. They did put in a little bit too much liberalism into this whole thing, where I was like, all right, let's chill the hell out with this.
And
You
that's
feel me?
bad when Radical tells you
David
to
had-
chill out on the
Right.
liberalism.
They even had rainbow flags.
No,
up there.
no, it felt forced. It didn't feel
But you,
Yeah, I
authentic.
think
you know what,
It felt
Radical?
really forced.
weird.
Another thing, I'm a little upset about the movie. I'm turning into an animal rights activist right now, but there was no fucking cat in that bodega. I'm pissed.
On top of the bread,
They're
on top of the
like they're
bread,
weaponizing.
I'm
Exactly.
tight. Nobody went in there, ordered a top cheese. No, I'm tight. I'm tight.
They're weaponizing everything. They want to make everything political and all this shit.
Basic.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
all they
you
do.
guys are complaining that it was too liberal, whatever. But if he didn't put that in there, they would have complained to him. That
Yeah,
why
it's a
didn't he
double-edged
include that?
sword. It's a
Okay,
double-edged
yeah,
sword, no matter
he
what.
can't win.
Yeah, I think no matter what, I
Well-
mean, look, again, you're not going to win, because I think if you'd have put too many dark skinned people, well, Dominicans are a mixed race. Why don't we have this? And then you have too many, hey, how come we don't have enough
People are
Spanish
bitching.
speakers
No,
in here? And
I would say
People complain.
there
Well,
is a
in
there
New
is
York,
a
they
healthy
do have a
way.
lot of. They do have a
I
lot
will
of
say there is a
LGBT
healthy way
people, so
to
that's
have
not really
a good
liberal.
depiction on certain skin tones. There is a healthy way of doing that, and I've heard some Afro Latinos actually talk about the fact that they felt some type of way about it. But again, I don't know if he was. I don't know. Not, we're just speculating here, but I don't even know if he even was. He got surprised himself, or if he even said anything in the whole casting room. I don't know.
I'm not gonna lie. This
He
whole
claimed.
I was like, wait, why are they saying piragua? And somebody told me, oh, that's like the Puerto Rican way of saying frio. I was like, why didn't they say frio?
Exactly.
I mean,
I think
they didn't do the research. It seems. I mean, because
they should
that's
have
how
had
we call it.
They should have had a Dominican
call it
look over the
piragua.
line.
Unless the guy was supposed to be a Puerto Rican, like he's supposed to be Puerto Rican. I don't know, but
I mean, I guess one positive that we can get from this, and and I've been telling people this for years. Like, again, I lived in Houston where people were like, "You're Dominican? Where's that at?" I'm like, "It's an island." Huh? So I mean, I think one thing is like, good or bad, people are starting to learn more and more about Dominicans, and then we're starting to hear more and more about what like Dominican culture is. We're really putting ourselves out there. So even though like this movie did not accurately depict us, because of the controversy, it's like more and more people. We're not just reggaetonero. We're not just people singing dembow in la calle. We're actually getting more and more, because obviously with controversy, people are gonna like, well, why are all these people complaining? What are you talking about? Afro-Dominican, and you're gonna have people more Googling and searching it up. So I mean, I think in a way, people are gonna learn more about Dominicans. And I think that's, to me, what's important, is because I really want people to know, because look, we have a beautiful culture. I mean, I know people try to trash our culture and try to talk bad about Dominicans, and I don't want to go off on a tangent because I know we're talking about the movie, but we have a beautiful culture, and it's an amazing culture. And I'm so happy, and I'm so blessed to be part of it, and I'm glad I was born Dominican. And I have like my Dominican flags, my Dominican mask, I'm wearing a Dominican shirt right now. I'm always representing. So if nothing else, what I can say is like through the controversy, I think it's going to raise more awareness, and it's going to really put our culture. But like somebody was saying in the chat, I'm sorry I can't see anybody's names. You know, at some point, you know, we got to keep pushing forward and keep pushing more for those positive images and that positive message, and say, hey, we're not just out here singing them both. We're more than just them both. And so I think, you know, hey, but it's a step in the right direction, hopefully.
I guess, let me ask.
So the main writer was Jewish and Puerto Rican.
Yeah,
it was a Jewish and Puerto Rican lady. So they were both Puerto Rican.
Well, she didn't know enough about the Puerto Rican side then.
This was based on a play, though.
This
was based on a play, and the play is I think the play is more authentic, a lot more authentic. So they had something to go off of, not just somebody's opinion or whatever
Jewish
somebody
is a
wanted to write.
religion, not a race, by the way.
Well, okay, cool. That's
Puerto
debatable.
Rican, dog.
That's debatable.
Neither is
that's
Puerto Rican, you know. They're both.
No, it's not really debatable because you're Jewish is being a religion.
Yeah,
it's
a religion.
Well, it's both. It's both.
It's both. Exactly. It's both.
No, it's not both. It's not both. It's not both because anybody can convert to Jewish. Anybody can convert to Jewish.
Most Jews,
listen.
People can convert to it. That's why
there is a lineage. Listen, there's a lineage.
There's a lineage.
No, listen. That's what they tell you.
Listen. Be quiet. You can become. We're going off on a tangent, but you can become Jewish and be of the Jewish faith. But there is a bloodline and there is lineage of Jewish people. It's a descent as well.
Then that means it's contradictory. You cannot become and then have a lineage. That doesn't make sense.
Yo, I'm not.
Because there are people that are culturally Jewish, and then there are people that are like religiously Jewish. You understand? Like there's descendants of
That's still not a race.
Right, but
that's still not a race.
Yes, it's not a race, but it's an ethnic background, and it's also religion.
Hey guys, I'm sorry to interrupt. I know y'all talking. Yeah, I just want. Hey, thanks guys for having me on. Thanks for conversating with me and everything. Thanks everyone. It was a beautiful conversation. Hope to do it again. Got to get back to my date night. Y'all have a good night.
Oh yeah, I forgot you was with your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Oh, don't get it
wrong.
She's gonna hit you with that chancleta for being in the car that long. Better duck, man.
I told you stop talking.
He better start running.
I told you about that. I knew that's who you were talking to, stupid. Oh my God.
Have a good night, guys.
Good night.
All right.
Yeah, but hopefully it opens the door for other movies. And to be honest, I mean, yeah, it's nice to make money, but it's cool when a movie becomes like a cult classic. You know what I mean?
That can make movie too. Cult classics on the long run make some money because they get re-released, they get put in theaters again, they get released on different forms of media. They make money in the long run. Maybe they're considered a flop in the beginning, but they recoup that over time.
Yeah, so hopefully that could happen from that. Maybe maybe not so much him, but it could open up for other Latino directors to make movies about our culture and stuff like that. We don't really need Hollywood. If one of us was to direct a movie and it becomes a cult classic, you know what I'm saying? Like there's ways around the whole Hollywood thing.
Yeah. I mean, without the Hollywood executives trying to make artistic decisions that always fuck things up. And always messes up the project. Like for example, kind of like back in 2004, I think it was, when they made the Ray Charles movie. That movie was an independent movie. It was well funded, yes, but it was more independent. So that's why it came out the way it came out. It turned out to be great. But if it had like studio involvement, executives trying to make decisions and all, maybe it would have been shit. Like so many biopics that turn out to be shit because the studios interfere.
I think historically we know that when the studios are involved, movies come out trash. You know what I mean? So it's something that we already know about. You know.
All right. 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 All right.
Yeah.
You know, speaking about another Hollywood movie that's gonna fuck up like Latinos, has anybody heard anything about the remake they're doing of West Side Story?
Yeah, I'm directing
I
it, and
thought
it's
that
gonna
In
be
the Heights
it's gonna
was
be
the remake of West Side Story. That's what I thought.
Oh, that's two totally different.
no.
That's what I
I'm
thought.
I'm
At
remaking the
first.
movie, and in the name of diversity, I'm casting an all Sri Lankan cast. That's how we're gonna do this.
Oh, great!
But so when is that supposed to be happening?
I don't know.
Who
I know
knows?
it's gonna be coming out, but they're gonna do the same. They're gonna fuck it up.
Yo, Tina,
The original West Side Story.
they're so tapped out when it comes
Isn't
to
West Side
originality
Story
and
about an Italian
creativity.
Italians
No, it's-
versus Puerto Ricans.
Yeah, it's they're so tapped out when it comes to originality and creativity that they're just gonna keep remaking shit and it's gonna keep running into the ground. Perfect example, the Terminator series. You know,
they
went full feminist and they
the
screwed
last
everything
one.
that they're doing now. They have nothing, so they're gonna keep rebooting things and just running it into the ground. That's all they're gonna do.
They really
That's what I'm
fucked
saying.
up
Anyone,
the Terminator franchise.
Yeah.
I mean, it broke my heart. I only saw the first few minutes. What happened with John Connor? I was like, no, cancel. I'm not messing with this. No.
It's like
because
anyone who has any type of like experience making like their own movies, you know what I mean, and doing like their own independent thing. Like now is like the perfect time to start, doing your thing, especially like again, with the Latino culture in general. Like your island has a lot of history, mine does. Central America has a lot of history, South America. There's so much history that people could be doing their own thing right now and making money.
The West Side Story movie is gonna come out December 10th, 2021. It's directed by Steven Spielberg. The budget is $100 million.
Damn! Oh, they gotta do that right.
Oh well, that's the clown. That's the clown with that kind of money. But the thing is, it's a remake. Remakes tend to be shit. You guys know that. I mean,
But
so
I hope it's not though. It's Steven Spielberg. I hope he doesn't fuck it up. Steven Spielberg.
Well, it is. That's not a guarantee, Stephanie. For real.
Obviously, I know that's not a guarantee. He's Steven
watch all
Spielberg.
the Puerto Ricans be criminals, broke, and
Oh,
Catholic.
yeah.
They're gonna be Catholic, broke criminals.
West Side Story already
gonna
happened.
be like,
You guys know what that is, right? West Side Story, it happened already, right?
1970s.
Yeah, it was
You
mid.
guys know the plot.
It was mid.
Did you guys know that Spielberg cast me as the Puerto Rican thug number 1 with the knife? I already got cast.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the West Side Story was full.
He cast me as the bodega cat.
No,
Radical's
the Piragua guy.
I think they should do a remake of the Warriors. That'd be dope.
Radical's the short Piragua guy that has to look over. He can't look over the cart all the way to shave the ice.
That's a tiptoe.
Yeah, he's on his tippy toes shaving the ice for the kids.
They're using a lot of CGI for that though.
Oh yeah, they made you 6 feet with the CGI.
Nah, they made me four. They made me 4'2" with the CGI.
Oh, they gave you a boost. Nice. Okay, that's what's up, bro.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but like West Side Story, they with those same tired ass, Latino stereotypes with the fake ass accent. Like even the Latinos in West Side Story had to put on a fake Latino accent. I want to live in America.
Yeah, because the Rita Moreno, the character that Rita Moreno did, I mean, Rita Moreno doesn't talk like that. It was a stereotype. Her character was a stereotype. So that's why she won an Oscar for it, because it was a big stereotype of Hispanic women.
I want. Who says I want?
Puerto Ricans don't say that. We don't talk like that. We say, I want. We say I want, but we don't say I want. We don't talk like that. We drag the letter R. We say ja when it's like mispronouncing something with the letter R. We drag the letter R, but we don't say I want. We don't talk like that. What type of accent is that? Who made that shit up?
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
and then they had Natalie Wood playing Maria, so they didn't even have a
Tina.
Latina playing a Puerto Rican.
Tina, I got a question. When you were watching the movie, did you have a special Dominican wig when you were watching it?
Yeah, it was pink, Radical.
You and when you gonna let this whole wig thing go? I don't wear wigs
when you
that.
stop wearing them.
It was red,
Am
white,
I
and
wearing
blue.
one right now? Is this a wig? No.
Yeah.
You know when you know Tina, you know when he hugged you, he was trying to feel for your tracks, right?
I found all of them. I said, "Oh shit,
Wow.
you sold them shits in? All right, shout out to
stupid." Anyways, my real hair. Stop eating.
Yeah, she bought it. Leave her alone.
You too, right?
She paid for it, so it is hers.
Hat off, but always talks about her wigs. Right? What's your hair looking like, Radical? Because you always got a hat on.
It's looking beautiful and silky smooth.
Lies, Radical. You got the horseshoe action going on. You got that horseshoe.
Hell no! If I did, I'll shave my whole head off. Fuck that.
Radical got a comb over.
Hell no! If I did, I would shave my whole shit. I don't want to look like Truth Teacher.
Oh man, shots fired! Shots fired!
Yo!
Oh man!
You got a big, beautiful forehead, man. Look
when
at that.
when Tina met up with us, they were
man down,
wigs.
Jamaican in distress.
Liar,
they were
bro.
comparing wig juice and all that. I said, "Oh shit!
What the hell is wig juice?
Shit!
You're so stupid."
Tina was like, "Oh, I got a really good remedy, so it won't your scalp won't itch." I'm like, "Oh shit!"
You're such a liar.
Wait, Radical.
I could use that remedy though. Like I'm not gonna front that.
Radical. You're telling us that the whole time you was out with Truth Teacher, he was patting his head.
Yep.
Oh man.
He looked like a Truth Teacher. Looked like a distressed baby mother.
Oh man.
Waiting for that phone call. When my kid's gonna come back? Oh my God, they've been gone all day.
I was having that day, okay?
Radical had that Puerto Rican accent, that Bronx Puerto Rican accent. I heard that.
Roy just said, I want a Latino with Scarecrow is Danny, Radical Latinos a cowardly Caroline, Xtina is a
Oh wow, you said I don't have a brain. That's messed up, Roy Chess.
Radical Latino got Diego the Explorer.
That's good. That's actually a good one. That's good. That's a good one. If anybody got Photoshop skills, do that. Make me that.
Radical Latino. Yeah, Radical whole Indio out here.
That's it.
Radical the Afro mestizo.
That's right.
Get Afro, get Afro.
He's much darker in real life than I thought he was. I was clutching my wallet the whole time.
What the fuck?
Your wallet or your pearl
necklace? What the fuck? That's racist. What the fuck?
He tucked in his chain, man.
I'm just saying. I didn't.
Tina, defend me! Oh my God, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I cannot believe it.
Truth. So the whole time you walked on the other side of the street when you were around Radical?
Pretty much,
That's terrible. That's terrible.
And I have to keep looking back too, because you got to be alert.
Yeah, and the thing is,
you got to be careful with those midgets, man.
Now I know why you put your wallet in your front pocket. That's fucked up, bro.
That's right. That's right.
That's fucked up, bro. That's fucked up, bro. I see how it is.
No, after you left my house. After you left my house, I went and made sure that all my change was still there,
Oh, man. Damn, Radical, it's like that.
All my loose change is still there.
Yo, shut up, yo. I'm light skiing. Oh, my God.
How many stopping first did Radical go through?
Whatever?
King said, how many stopping first did Radical go through?
I can't hear you. What? How many what?
How many stopping first did Radical go through? Because you're always talking about stopping first.
Only the ones that I called in.
Shut up.
Wow.
A lot.
was like, hello, police? Yes, he's right here. Please, I don't feel safe. What does he look like?
Yo, Radical's the type to walk in front of two cops who are minding their business, not paying him any mind, and just be like, "It's because I'm black, right? It's because I'm black." Just so they can search him.
Yo, you ain't shit.
Emma said, I thought he was Mexican because the shape of his face was round as an indigenous. Oh, wow.
I told you he's an Afro mestizo.
No, he's not. Radical's Native American. He's fooling everybody.
He's an Afro mestizo, yo.
Yeah, ain't shit.
Radical's
bro, just post your dad, bro.
I think it's roasting time for Radical. Go ahead.
Hey, it's been a minute since you've been on my
Tina, you want to say something? You want to say it's your turn now? You want to repeat the joke? You can repeat a joke. Say it again. It's fine. Anybody got anything else to say? Stephanie, you've been quiet. You haven't said anything. You want to go?
Nah, I'll hurt your feelings.
Damn, yo.
Yo, Rat, I'm sorry we took you to the Mexican restaurant. There was no guinea pig on the menu. I'm sorry.
Oh man.
I felt right at home, by the way.
I think that's Peruvian.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we got way off topic. But we made a good full 2 hours staying on topic. Y'all no fighting.
Yes. Let's keep it going.
Shout out to the panel today.
So let's talk about how the movie had white supremacy. That's a joke. I'm playing.
Notice how the light-skinned Latino is the one who had the inheritance.
Speak, my brother. That's right. Speak truth to power, my brother. That's right. Speak truth to power. That's right.
And this is why Radical's girl doesn't let him go to the movies, because every time Radical sees a white person on screen, he clenches his fists.
Oh, Tina, tell him what I said about Central Park.
About what?
What I said in Central Park. Tell him what I said in Central Park.
Well, you said a lot of shit, man.
Remember when I looked at the white folks? What I said?
What did he say, Tina? What did he say?
I don't remember. No, I don't remember. What did you say?
When we went to the fountain and we went to the... All right, so we were at the fountain and people were dancing salsa. Remember, I said, white folks. I don't like that. Yeah, that shit was mad random, man. I was like, oh, shit, I caught myself.
What you guys didn't see?
Thinking about it,
Tina put me on. What you guys didn't see was she cut the camera and Radical went screaming like a nut job, pushing all the white people to the ground, and he kicked the speakers over and was screaming, "This is cultural appropriation."
Dun, dun.
Yeah. I thought about it, but no. I decided to relax because I'm not at home.
Getting at home.
I'm not at home.
He had a meltdown because they put that sour cream on his habichuelas. He's like, "Why you gotta put the white on?"
But when we walked past that high-end, super expensive restaurant, Tina was cooning for white men.
What?
Oh, decrepit.
Wow.
I said, yo, Tina was mad loud. Tina was mad loud. She was like, Tina was mad loud. She goes, "I'm single and age don't matter." I said, oh, shit.
Was the one we walked past one of those outside restaurants.
Oh, shit. Age don't matter, Tina.
Hey, Tina.
Wait, hold on.
Yo, they were decrepit old men. And she goes like, "Where am I going to get a white man?"
No.
Yeah, Radical, you're making Tina look like a chapeadora.
Right?
For real, man. That's
seriously.
Radical.
We were walking past those outside restaurants. It was literally a bunch of like old white people. And this guy's like, "What? You're single, Tina? What color does it matter?"
Oh, wow.
For everyone to hear, I was like, "Really?"
One of them was trying to give her his number, but
no,
she goes like, "Radical's here." Chill.
No, that never happened.
Chill out.
Tina was like,
"Tina was like, yo, age don't matter." I'm like, "Ooh."
Yeah.
Okay.
Tina, I think he's fronting because when you guys walk past the restaurant, it seems like Radical got upset that they were all white.
He was upset.
Pretty much.
He was, right?
Okay,
I knew it.
She got all hypergamos, right?
Yo, Radical's such a troll, man.
Yo, Radical's the type to go into an Italian restaurant and go into the kitchen with all the Mexican staff and try to get them to unionize. He's one of those type of dudes.
Yo, can you hear me? Yo, can you hear me? Yo?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. My fault.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Shut up.
Oh my
Yo,
God.
so Radical, like, where does this whole thing come from?
What thing?
Your belief. Where you get your belief from? Not the rational.
Well, once upon a time, Radical had a beautiful Latina girlfriend, and then a Brad with blonde hair and blue eyes stole her from him, and that's where the anger started. Right, Radical?
Damn.
He was like those damn white men.
He's not saying anything. He must have struck a nerve or something.
Yeah, he's screaming right now. He's
muted.
shaking his
He's
fist in
muted
the air.
while having a rage. He's raging.
He's like, how could you tell my secret like that?
Motherfucker.
Yeah, right?
The snow got him.
Wait a minute.
Wait. See, John?
The Brad from the restaurant got him.
No. Right now, he's being questioned by police.
Police.
The spinal taps got him. You think, when you have normal people on your lives,
You know who
people
came.
get messy.
Who came for him.
Your lives don't get messy when you get normal people on the panel.
Apparently. All right.
Oh, he got away. He got away from the
I had to regroup and to get my white supremacist talking points together.
Oh my God. Okay, so John asked you, where does your ideology come from?
What are you?
Your deep-seated hate for the white man. Where does it come
What
from?
the fuck?
Yes, where does your I got it out for white supremacists? What is all
Where
that?
does my white supremacy ideology come from?
Yes.
It's true. I agree with it.
Wait. I gotta rephrase it.
He's fucking mad.
Wait. I said, you mean where does the ideology for me going against white supremacy come from? That's what.
Yeah, where did it all start?
Well, it started when I was doing research on religion.
Long ago in a galaxy far away.
Yeah. No, it started from that, and then I just started to really deep into it, and then when I started diving deep into it, I ran across some people might call them Afrocentrics, but Francis Cress Welsing, Dr. Nellie Fuller, and all them other people, and I started to just learn the concept.
You forgot one influence. You forgot to mention one influencer.
I think he probably got bad service.
Oh, he was gonna say.
Yeah.
I thought he was
kept
gonna
cutting
say
out Radicals.
Yo.
Yeah, you kept cutting out.
Who's the one influencer? Who's the biggest one? Last one.
I think I lost him. Goddamn, I think I lost him. Hello? Yo?
No, we can hear you, Radical.
We can hear you.
What was the last thing you heard?
You were telling us about how
you were rambling on, and you were getting ready to tell us what year you became a Black Panther.
We're listening.
I started doing deep dive on religion, and then when I started to do a deep dive on religion, I started to find little inconsistencies and cracks into it, and then that pivoted into racism, and I started reading books from Francis Cress Welsing, Dr. Nellie Fuller, and that pretty much rounded everything that I had a lot of questions about, because I didn't know I just knew that it was called racism, but I didn't know that the concept of racism is actually white supremacy. And this is a concept that is utilized in everyday activity between humans.
Because I agree with you, but the thing is that nowadays, what they did was they know they were guilty, so they said, okay, we're gonna make our own group, and we're gonna make it seem like we're fighting for rights, like Black Lives Matter. Obviously, that's a group that was they're Marxists. They said it themselves, and they're supported by George Soros. They don't represent anti-racism. They're not for people of color or blacks. What they did is they knew they were guilty of the systemic and institutional racism. So they're like, okay, we're gonna make up a group, and we're gonna pretend to be caring for blacks, and we're gonna pretend to be them, and we're gonna discredit them and make them seem like the white supremacy is a joke, and it's not real, but it's true though.
Your mic sounds a little muffled. Like it's a little muffled or something.
Well, the thing is that when certain people talk about how racism or white supremacy isn't real, there's a lot of examples and legal examples that we could point to historically or even currently now that debunks all
pipeline,
that.
war on drugs.
Yeah, that debunks all of that, all those talking points. You know, there's a lot of examples, and again, historical laws that were on the books that basically said that basically said that we are concepting this country for the supremacy of the white man and all this other nonsense. So these are things on the books that were written a long time ago. So it's not a stretch of the imagination to actually see it for what it is.
It's true, but the only thing I'm saying is that nowadays, especially in the last few years, it's like white people knew they fucked up. So that's like, okay, we're going to make these groups and we're going to pretend to be black people. And we're going to do all this wild, crazy shit to discredit their truth. Like Black Lives Matter is totally non-respectable. It's not an honorable organization. It's not an organization you could take seriously, and it never was an.
No, that has been exposed right now.
It never was an organization to help black people or Hispanics or whatever the case may be. So that's just a tool. That's just a tool. That's a tool they use to discredit the truth about the systemic racism.
A real group. You got to understand something. Real groups who actually help out the community. They don't get backing from major corporations like Chase. They don't get backing from major corporations like Kellogg's and stuff like that. So you gotta really see who's really behind the veil. Black Lives Matter is white run. We gotta keep it 100% real.
It's not a grassroots movement. Yeah, it's an AstroTurf movement.
Listen,
and they give the donation to the
Black
Democratic
Lives Matter
Party.
was co-opted literally the first time it was concepted. So throughout its conception, it was already a fake organization. You have plenty of people. You have plenty of people and leaders, quote unquote leaders, that were part of these little WikiLeaks documents, emails, basically stating, hey, make this protest happen, make these protests happen, make these things happen. And those protests were not grassroots protests.
It was AstroTurf.
Exactly. They were
they were paid also. They were a lot of the protesters were paid.
A lot of those people are paid off. The thing is, this is how I see it. Those protests, there wasn't no real change that actually came out of that. For what I see,
it was never meant to. It was never meant to.
Yeah, it was never meant to. And you're right. And for what I see, and a lot of people could take this wrong or not agree with me, but it's all right. But what I see is the protests that happened because of George Floyd. At least, we had some positive change with homie getting 22.5 years, at least.
Yeah, that's the first time you see like cops really actually paying. But
because we fucking put our foot up their ass and they had to do something.
Yeah, because of all the shit that's been happening, if he would have gotten let go, that would have just made the point even more clearly. Like, just do this shit.
And the thing that pisses me off a little bit, 22-something years is a long goddamn time. Okay, maybe it would have been 25. All right, cool, 25 to life. But 22 is pretty fucking long. Why are people mad at that? Talking about it's a small charge. What? 22 years is pretty fucking long.
But the thing is that he could be eligible for parole in like half of that, if not less.
Yeah, he's gonna get parole. He's gonna get parole.
I don't think so. I don't think so because
he's gonna go to a nice jail.
No. I don't know about the whole nice jail thing.
He's not gonna do all of that.
He's not gonna be eligible for parole. They already said it.
But what I'm saying about this whole Black Lives Matter thing is that nowadays, when you think of systemic, they want to do this, right? When you think of systemic racism, of all of this stuff, right? They want to make it synonymous with BLM, and because BLM is so uncreditable and not honorable and cannot really be taken seriously, they want to make that parallel and make that synonymous with black people, Hispanics.
You're right. Listen, you're absolutely right. Check this out. Any black person that protests of some injustices, the media automatically labels them BLM or liberals or whatever the case is. Look at me.
Oh yeah,
I go against white supremacy. How many people call me a liberal? How many call me a BLM supporter? A lot, and I don't support none of that. So again, it's a psyche of society.
Prove
you know
it.
what I'm saying?
We want you.
Shut up.
We want you to burn your BLM sports bra on a live to prove it.
Wait. Those sports bras, I was giving them shits away in Puerto Rico. A lot of people got them.
I knew it. You're an operative. You're an operative.
They were burning
That's right. I'm getting paid.
Christina?
Yes.
I'm gonna head out.
Okay.
Yeah, but I just want to say to everybody to support The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard with Salma Hayek. I saw it already. It's great. It's action packed. It's gory. So for all you guys who don't like to watch musicals, but like action movies, you'll like this. And so yeah, support Latino movies because we're less than 5% in Hollywood, and we need to get our numbers up. So yeah, and also remember, Christina's right here.
Yes.
Support Christina's merch.
Yeah.
It's high quality. I love it. It's so cute. Look at that.
Okay. Thank you. Well, thanks for coming through as always. And, hope to see you on another live soon. But by the way, I've had a few people suggest if I could do like a Mexican night. I don't know what to talk about, but if I do, you definitely need to come on.
Oh, man. We'll see. Yeah, that's going to get a little too crazy. I don't know.
You're going to piss a lot of people off.
Why?
Talk about.
Hey, I'm gonna have my modelo on hand.
That's cultural appropriation.
Whatever. I've been living in Texas all this time. I can drink a modelo.
Yeah, Ramon, you have your MBA, right? Your Mexican by Association card already.
Yeah. I get confused. It's assumed that I'm one of them. So that's fine. That's fine by me.
It's okay. You got your MBA. You're all right.
Yeah. I hang out with them, chill with them. Been doing that for years, so it's not an issue.
Yeah. Alrighty, guys. I'll see you.
All right. Well, have a good night.
Hey, it's good seeing you, Stephanie.
Buenas noches.
Igual.
Bye.
I give me a little wine out, you know what I'm saying?
Dándote el traguito.
You know.
I'm gonna bounce. I gotta get my, us old people, we need to get our sleep. So, I'm gonna go drink my warm milk and tuck in.
Yo, Truth, check your pockets because Radical was on the panel with you. Make sure you got everything before you leave.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
That's racist. That's racist.
That's right. Yes, it is. But
He's too dark, man. You
it's
can't trust
sure
him.
with you people.
He's too dark, you can't trust him.
That's why.
Terrible.
That's why Truth was walking further than us, Tina. You see that? Damn, that's crazy.
No, it wasn't. It was you. I'm ashamed.
He had the cops on speed dial.
You know, like Red, you're my dirty little secret.
Oh man,
That's fucked up. That's
Hey,
fucked
yo.
up. That's fucked up.
Oh my gosh. All right, Truthful. You have a good night. Get your beauty sleep.
That's right. I'll make a special video showing you how I get rid of wrinkles on my forehead.
Okay.
Oh man.
Listen, man, come on. 54 years old, man. This shit is smooth like an egg, man. How you think I get it that way? I got techniques, man.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You keep it smooth.
Yo, Hispanic
Do
American
that thing.
goodbye for 10 minutes. Oh my god.
Oh, what? Okay, I'll see you guys later.
I had a nasty joke. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna say it.
By the way, we got somebody new here, Robert R.
Yeah, what's up?
Hello.
I've actually been on Radical's live stream and Rancho's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think I should just introduce myself then. Robert, obviously, and I'm actually a biracial American, like a mulatto but I'm not Hispanic, if that makes sense.
Okay. Okay.
But I saw on the title that it says Latino representation.
Yes.
You call yourself mulatto?
What does that mean exactly? Like, you all look different. How can you guys be represented?
Well, I mean, that was a very blanketed general statement, but I mean, really, it's been more focused on this particular movie, In the Heights. Do you know about it? Like, do you have an idea what it's about?
What movie?
In the Heights? Well, it's a musical, but
no.
Oh, okay.
I thought you meant in general.
Well,
it was about a movie.
It's more so tied into this movie. I mean, yeah, we also did talk about Latino representation in general, but yeah, I mean, it is a very broad subject because we are so diverse. It's a lot of countries, a lot of ethnic and racial mixes going on. So, I mean, it's you can't talk about it in one general.
The only thing I want to say is I know on your channel before, Christina, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is you said that you were like a mulatta or like a biracial. Why do you claim
we don't call it Dominicans
like biracial status when the original, like when you have Taino like DNA?
Well, I mean, I've only said that because my native DNA, well, at least according to the test, is only like 7-8%. So I'm like pretty much split between black and white. Like my African DNA is literally like 50%. Well, between 50 to 51, 52%, and then the rest is European with that little bit of native. That's why I said that. But I mean, that makes however you want to call it. I mean,
we don't really call ourselves mulatto. That's more of a Cuban thing.
I mean, yeah. I don't go around calling myself mulata. I just say that I'm morena, but I'm mixed. So
yeah, that's really an American thing, though.
Well, mulatto is actually a Spanish term. It is
from the caste system.
What I'm saying is, but what I'm saying is calling yourself biracial, calling yourself black, calling yourself white, calling yourself by a race. That's an American thing more than
also a Spanish thing because they made it up. But I know what you mean.
Technically,
yeah. I mean, and I still have hey Radical. I still have an issue with you saying half of white people are still like racist. We still need to talk about that.
Okay, yeah, we could definitely do it.
I wouldn't say half.
I wouldn't say half. I'd say like
don't get too arguing right now.
You know what I saw?
I'd say 0.5%, like 0.5% to 1% are racist. It can't be half.
I know, and
you just say 1%.
One thing that's really happening right now. There's a population shift and a birth decline of white people in America, and there's gonna be a new minority majority. So,
anyway,
I'm talking about America.
Yo, Tina, I'm gonna let you go. Have a good one.
But I'm saying,
peace.
Oh, you gotta go. All
right, Radical. Take it easy, man.
But what? How do you like? That's
But
what
like
I mean, though. Like,
Europe having birth rates
I
too
know some
declining. Like
Hispanics.
all of white
Like,
people.
Yeah, Europe. Yeah. So Europe also, Italy, even Japan, they're having negative birth rates.
Yeah, because couples are only having one kid, and they're leaving it at that. So they're not going to
Yeah,
repopulate there.
there's gonna be a new
And then
minority, majority in
the
America.
amount of Asians and Africans moving to Europe is not looking good for them, man.
Yeah, Spain is
Those
also
Middle Eastern people,
having exodus.
those
A lot
Middle
of people
Eastern people
moving.
have like 6 kids, and the Africans have 5 kids, and it's like, you guys about to get overrun, man. But I'm here for it, you know. That's what they get.
They're literally running out of Europe.
Yeah, you know. Matter of fact, you know, they're the only group of people that like they literally, most of them choose to leave Europe. You know, choose to leave their continent. You know what I'm saying? So it's like whatever. Them niggas fled to Australia, South America, North America.
Yeah, they go to
Probably
South America.
some of them in Africa too. You know, like they chose to leave. Like it's their own fault their birth rates are declining. You know, that's their business.
Yeah.
So, quick
on.
question. So that was the.
Oh, yeah, where did he go?
Who, Radical?
Radical
Oh,
left.
yeah, Radical left. Damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, so Robert, you call yourself a mulatto?
Well, I mean, I've heard like when people have asked me, and it's usually like Hispanics who ask because they don't know if I'm Dominican or Puerto Rican or anything like that. I know those aren't races, but that's what they think.
Have a look, I guess.
Yeah. And I say no, I'm black and white, and then they refer to me as mulattoes, and I can't really get mad at it because that's what they know. That's how they were taught. So
yeah,
I mean, the only thing that's really like that doesn't make sense. I mean, even though the indigenous blood is still very weak compared to places like Mexico and Ecuador and El Salvador, and the further down you get to South America, I've still seen Dominicans and Puerto Ricans who still look. You could see it in their phenotype that they still look native. Like you don't,
Yeah,
but
I
I've seen
agree.
others that do.
I think it's more of a myth where they say that they were depleted or killed off, but you can see it. Dominicans have a look, Puerto Ricans have a look, Cubans also. We have a look that is not just purely, at least not always, just pure mulatto. Is more than just black and white.
Yeah, and you got some of us that are just interchangeable. Like you can't tell until they start speaking.
Like Romeo Santos.
Yeah, there are some of us. That's why I don't assume anything, but just looking at them, at somebody who is Hispanic, I don't make assumptions immediately as to where they're from or the culture that they represent. I have to listen to them speak Spanish, and then I can have some idea. Like when I meet I meet Dominicans all the time. I don't have to tell them that I'm Puerto Rican because all I have to do is speak, and they're gonna know. They're gonna know about my accent.
Yeah.
I don't have to
have you guys ever met an
and
Arawa?
this is for more like Christina, because I don't know if you're from the Northeast, but I know has Black Americans ever like tried to say that you were just black?
Well, I'm from VA, Mid-Atlantic. So to be honest, I never really experienced that growing up. I always just identified as Dominican, and everybody else just said I was Dominican. I mean, I'm sure maybe they saw me as like racially black like them, I guess, but they never said it. Like that just wasn't a topic of conversation with me and my friends. I'm not sure why. It just never really was. I don't know if maybe being a female has something to do with it, but me and my black girlfriends, that was just never a thing for me.
I think maybe because it's VA, like there's not a lot of Dominicans out there.
Maybe that might be part of it. It might be, but yeah, nobody really bugged me about my identity. I was just Dominican, and that's that.
Yeah, it's like all the Dominicans, Puerto Ricans just like stay in New York.
Definitely,
for the most part.
New York, Florida, some in Texas.
Florida?
East Coast, really East Coast.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
I
gonna
couldn't
be
imagine
Louisiana, New
Dominicans
Orleans.
going to like cold areas.
In the cold
Probably
area.
not. Used to it.
There's some Dominicans
Yeah.
in Alaska.
Yeah, I've heard about that. That to me is crazy. Like, what the hell y'all doing over there?
Making money.
That's crazy. I
I
never talked
mean,
about race in real life. Yeah, Blood Moon said that just wasn't a thing. At least growing up in the 90s, early 2000s, whatever. I don't know. We just didn't talk about race as much as it's
Yeah,
talked about now.
it was. It
That's
wasn't like
recent.
that for me as a kid neither.
Not
It
at all.
was.
Yeah,
It was.
but
It
that's more
wasn't
of
brought up.
But that's
It's
more in these
recent.
platforms in social media that people go back and
Yeah,
forth
people
about
amplify
race
it.
more. It kind of like in
Like,
real life, that's not that much of a thing. Maybe
and
there is a question
no.
here and there. You state what you are, the culture that you represent, and you can just leave it at that. And maybe look for the
Yeah.
similarities with other groups. But there are people that want to focus on the differences and you want to bring this divisive energy, and then that's when people start kind of like butting heads, arguing unnecessarily for no real reason. Okay, let's acknowledge the differences. Let's focus on what we can have in common, with the common ground that we can have. We all can find that. And but there are people that focus so much on the differences that they bring divisive energy, and
Well, they're
that's when
socially.
people
What they
start
have, man.
arguing.
They're
And
socially
this
awkward.
whole,
Those are the kind of
this
people
whole,
you can't take
African
anywhere,
diaspora will
and
rise.
they sit there and they're gonna judge and criticize everything that's going on around them instead of just enjoying their life and having a good time. Those are
yeah,
socially awkward people, and they're comfortable
this
on the internet because they hide behind avatars and screen names. You know what I mean?
Because
whole race thing. This whole race thing really, like, America always had a race problem, but I think in the last 5 to 7 to 10 years, really just exploded like a lot. Like, this has been an issue after issue after issue, almost like cultural engineering, almost like on purpose. This whole racist stuff been just gone out of just blown up. Not
well,
not
the thing
organically, like, just manipulated, social
I'm gonna
engineering.
I'm gonna
So
say
you
this
think this
because
is higher than when they were hanging people, bro? Come on, man.
No, no, no,
Black
no, no. I'm
Americans.
talking about. I'm
It's
talking about
always
the.
been
I'm
there,
talking.
man.
I'm talking about the
It's always
recent.
been there, man.
Yeah, but I'm talking
Yeah, but
about
it's
the
always
recent
been
stuff.
there. You just didn't see it. You just didn't see it,
No, I'm talking
Especially
about
in New York City. That's the Pan-African capital of the world. Of course they're going to talk about race. Like, what you mean?
I'm saying no. Recently though, this has been blowing up more than ever.
Yeah, but I don't think
Not
so. I
Well, the
think you
thing
just
necessarily.
is,
didn't see it.
For
I just want to say this.
I think you were just blind to it, and now it's in your
Nah,
face. So you're like, oh shit, what the hell?
nah.
But
But you don't
like,
know me. You don't know me personally to know that. But for example,
I know I can hear how you
Colin,
speak, and through how
Colin,
you speak, I can hear it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Colin. For
you're
example,
from New
Colin
York, right?
Kaepernick. For example, Colin Kaepernick, that he coming out of nowhere to do that. To me, that's mad suspect because he's not. To me, he's not even black. To me, he's like a puppet. Like, if you really look at him,
He's Arab. Stop.
he ain't
What
even. He
about when
ain't
they was?
even.
What about when
He's
What
just a
about when
tool,
they was?
man.
They've always talked to athletes about racial issues. Like, remember Michael
But
Jordan?
it's
Remember
not. It's
Kobe?
not grassroots.
Remember what
Like,
Kobe said about the race thing?
for example, Jesse Jackson, he's just a tool, right? So you got to be careful who represents and who comes
Yeah,
to
but
the forefront. Like
he been here for
BLM,
30 years.
for example,
Like
like
Jesse
BLM,
Jackson been doing that shit.
like for example, like BLM, that's not really representative of the issue and of the struggle. So that's what I'm saying. Like, they brought these issues up, but now organically, like, they just blew it up, like socially engineering. Not saying that is not real. I'm saying is they brought it to a forefront for a different reason. It's not organic.
Yeah, it's politicized. They brought it to
I want to
politicize
ask
it.
Christina something.
And
Sure, I agree
weaponized
with
too.
that, but that's not what. But you're saying like it just started. They've been like it's never stopped.
No, I'm not
When
saying.
I
I'm not
grew up,
saying
when
it
I grew
started.
up, we used to have little programs talking about like when I grew up. Right, I'm from Soundview in the Bronx. That's also where True Teacher from, by the way. So back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, they had this group called the Black Spades. They were basically a group of black people, Black Americans, and some Afro Caribbeans. They basically, they were a black activist group, like modeled after the Black Panthers over there, right? So me growing up, I came to New York in the early 2000s, right? We used to always hear stories. They would be in the park and we talk about it. The
The Afro Caribbeans talked about it. The Afro Americans talked about it. The Spanish did not come. Like, it's literally just recently I've noticed that Hispanic people joining in. So that's why I'm telling you, like, we've always been doing this. You haven't been doing this. Like, you guys are just
that's not what I'm saying. Though what I'm saying is,
you just said there was never a race topic.
Let
Race
me tell
topics
you.
always been going on, man. Always.
But what I'm
Especially in New York.
what I'm saying
Marcus
is,
Garvey came to New York City, bro. We proud of that. That's a fact.
I know what you're talking about, but what I'm saying is recently it has not been organic or real, man. It's been fake groups.
Yeah, that's
like this is what I'm saying. It hasn't been organic. It's been fake groups with an agenda behind them, like BLM, a self-proclaimed Marxist organization backed by Soros, which gives all its donations to the Democratic Party. And what has the Democratic Party done? They invented the KKK. So this is all by design, social engineering. You understand what I'm saying? You understand?
Well, you can say
you mean the Liberal
Democratic
Party? You mean liberals? You mean they give
Yo,
to liberals?
Robert, what was your next question?
Yeah,
though?
Robert said he
You
had
had a
another
question
question for
for
me.
Tina.
I wanted to say this about the Dominican thing and growing up on, because I'm in Connecticut right now, and we actually have way more Puerto Ricans, it seems like, than Dominicans. But I think the reason why a lot of black Americans say that say Dominicans are black, even though I recently found a channel that this guy, he's Dominican also, and he basically, his name is Phoenix Legacy, but I'll let you check him out on your own.
All right.
But it was more like Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, some Dominicans would come up to me and ask me if I'm Dominican, and I would say, well, no, I'm black. Aren't you black? And they would say no, when you clearly have black features. I think black people just want you to clear, I don't know the percentage, but it has to be at least over half of the Dominican Republic having something like, I don't know, I would say at least 3/4 of African roots with ease. And it's like you could see it in your phenotypes, but I think the problem is that you guys don't want to admit it. And I always thought that was weird.
I know exactly what you're saying. This is the issue, right? Like me growing up, I'm what you would consider Afro Latino by that's a word invented recently, right? I don't even use that. But even growing up in hold on. Even growing up in New York City, right? It will be plainly obvious and known. Like black Americans will let me know, you're not black. Yeah, you Spanish. You black, but you like we're them. So it's always been known that when you call somebody black, you're referring to black Americans. Now, when you call anybody from a country, everybody else in the world identifies with a country, and that country has a culture, right? So when you tell somebody you're black, that refers to black Americans. So when you tell somebody a Dominican, mind you, Dominicans come in all color, and you tell them, oh, you black, and I say, no, I'm Dominican. That's the correct answer. Because first of all, we're not all black, and we are from our country. You identify with your nation. Also, we are our main roots is three: is Spanish, Taino, and African. 80% of us will have some kind of African DNA, some kind of European DNA, and some kind of Taino DNA. And not all of us. Some of us look more black, some of us look more white, most of us are somewhere in between. And it's simply like that. Because if you go to Africa and you tell somebody in Africa, oh, you're black, they'd be like, I'm Nigerian, I'm Ghanaian. Matter of fact, they'll tell you what tribe they're from. So that's the whole thing. When you in America, the standard here is like you measure everything by color or by race, but everyone else doesn't go by color or race. You could be a black Puerto Rican, you could be a black Dominican. You're still Dominican.
No, I understand all that. I'm saying I've met Chivos. I've met Chivos many, many times, and it seems to be in the Hispanic culture, and it's just odd to me that you can look at Mexican Americans and I know some Mexicans want to claim that they're half Spaniard too, but I actually looked it up. It's actually like 90% of Mexico is is Amerindian. They're actually full-blooded natives. Only
Wait,
10% of Mexico is.
I'm not Mexican, so I don't.
Wait, who was that?
No,
Who
I'm
was
saying,
that
but
earlier that said
that's
the black
that's what
thing?
makes you guys different than Amerindians is the black bloodline. But I'm saying a lot of you guys just don't claim it.
No,
That's a misconception.
It's not about not claiming it, bro.
Wait, wait, bro.
What you're
In
missing,
America,
what you guys are missing when you
Yo,
guys
dog,
think that way
dog.
is that Puerto Ricans, Cubans, and Dominicans, we're a mix of three different things, most of us. It's not that we're neglecting one side. You guys are painting us into a certain category, and we're constantly trying to tell you guys, the people, specific people who want to just claim us as black or as, European or whatever. That's not what we are. We are a mix of all three. So you can't just categorize us as one when we're made up of three different things. You see what I mean?
Right. And I mean,
yo, bro, you
said nobody's denying, and by the way, nobody's denying.
You said
nobody's denying
hang on.
African. Nobody's denying having African roots. But like this guy just said, we identify as the mix and the culture that we are. We're not just one thing. So you can't just say, we're all black. We obviously know we have African blood and DNA and culture and traditions, but that's not all of it. That's not just it.
I mean, no, I understand that. I mean,
in America, me growing up here, I obviously see it that you over here is divided, either black or white. Over here, America didn't develop and evolve like a lot of Caribbean countries did. At least Dominican Republic, we have our own culture and our own traditions, and we became who we are because we became that mix of culture. Similar thing with Puerto Rico, similar thing with Cuba, and also even Cape Verdeans are similar too. But in America, it's totally the opposite. As a matter of fact, Black Americans were stripped of their African ancestry, culture, and traditions, whereas in the rest of the world, it was preserved.
That's not actually true.
To an extent. Hold on. I'm about to finish. To an extent, right? But everywhere else, south of the border, down in South America, a lot of African traditions were preserved. I'm not saying that they were stripped of everything, but in America, the black and white people didn't mix. They stayed completely separate. So that's why that's why in America, either you're only black or you're only white, and that's the American ideology.
In all fairness,
so,
I understand.
I want to reply to that. I agree with you right there.
What happened?
There are a lot of people in the Dominican Republic that aren't mixed. I mean, when I looked at Sammy Sosa, he didn't look very mixed.
He's Haitian. No, I'm not even playing. Oh,
and Sammy Sosa bleached. That's what we know for sure. And it's recently that there has been that talk about him being Haitian, but he sure bleached.
So look, you could look up Sammy Sosa and you could look at his descent, and he's Haitian also in the Dominican Republic. And I'm not exaggerating with this number. Obviously, we're next door to Haiti. After the earthquake in Haiti happened, we have about 5 million illegal Haitian immigrants in our country. So when you see them, you're confusing them for Dominicans. That's not being racist. That's not being
xenophobic. No way you got 5
million.
Let me finish. No, but 5 million, that's half the country. That's half of Haiti.
Let me finish. Let me finish, bro. Let me finish. I don't have a reason to make this up, man. If you go to DR, Punta Cana, and I know about my country because I'm involved in my country. I looked this up. You understand? Dominicans can't go. Hold on, let me finish. Let me finish, bro. Let me finish. The second a Dominican goes to Haiti illegally, they get in jail 6 months. In the meantime, you have millions, and that's not a made up number, bro. You have millions of illegal Haitians in the Dominican Republic. So when you look at them, you're confusing them for Dominicans. And because they're Haitian, that does not mean I'm calling them for what they are. That doesn't make me racist or xenophobic. If you look up the news all over South America, Central America, Bahamas, Jamaica, Panama, Brazil, Argentina, Chile, Mexico, there's a lot of Haitian immigrants in all of those countries, bro. Because they've been leaving their country, and one of the countries that they mostly been coming to is Dominican Republic. You could look this up. They get deported from everywhere. Bahamas, Jamaica, Panama, Mexico, Chile, Brazil, Argentina, Colombia. But when we
Well, yeah,
do
well,
it, we're
Haiti
called when we
is
hold
super
on,
poor.
because they're leaving the country in mass, and in the place where there's most of them is in the Dominican Republic. But when we do it, we're called racist. When we call them for what they are, because they belong to their country. As a matter of fact, the same immigration laws that they have, we have the same immigration laws, right? You can't be Haitian if you're born in Haiti. Like if I'm Dominican and I was born in Haiti, that wouldn't make me Haitian. The same way that if a Haitian is born in DR, that wouldn't make him Dominican. But when we apply our immigration laws, which are the same as them, is by blood, not by birth, they have the same laws. But when we enforce our laws, we're racist and xenophobic. And that's the truth of the matter. When you look at Dominicans in DR, you're going to see a lot of Haitians there. And that's just what it is. But then you're confusing them for Dominican. That's not hate. That's not xenophobic. That's not racism.
No, I mean, and I would agree with you. I would
claims
take out the Haitians too.
but the claims of
you saw a lot
racism,
of
that's
Haitians in the
from the
DR?
outside. That's from outside. That the claims of racism or xenophobia comes from. That's from outside of the Dominican Republic, because the deportations do happen, and inside when it comes to Dominicans, the Dominicans do the deportations. They do what they have to do. I mean, I have my Dominican friends tell me about these things, and the whole criticism against Dominicans being xenophobic, that comes from the outside, from outsiders.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, what is the Dominican Republic? What is it, like 10 million people?
No, that's the thing. The 4 or 5 million Haitians in the Dominican Republic, that's half of Haiti. That's too big of a number. I'm not saying
That's
that
a lot.
there are any
That's a lot. I
Haitians.
know. And I'm not exaggerating. And that's a lot.
No, it has to be an exaggeration. That's half of Haiti in the Dominican Republic. It is an exaggeration.
No, it's not. I don't have a reason to make that up. That's
I'm
the
not
truth.
I'm not saying that you are making that up. I'm saying that your numbers are exaggerated.
Hold on. There's cities.
All right.
Hold on. There's cities. There's towns. There's little places all over the country in the Dominican Republic where there's more Haitians than Dominicans. That number is not exaggerated, bro. I wish it was exaggerated.
Yes.
I wish it was exaggerated.
Did you see a lot of Haitians in the DR when you went there?
Well, in the town where my family's from, which is Bonao, which is right in the center, I don't really see them, to be honest. I do see more when I go to the capital, of course. And my last trip, I went further west. I went to Bani, Barahona. I did see more Haitians in those areas because, I mean, it's more west. But I mean, I haven't been to any town though where I could say it was like overwhelmingly Haitian people. I guess so. I haven't seen those areas.
No, because I have been at the border. I have been at the border with Haiti, and I will admit, yes, in those towns that are border towns, you are gonna see a lot of Haitians there. Yes, I give you that. But I mean, come on, 5 million, 5 million.
I hope, and I wish I'm exaggerating, but what I've seen, what I've heard in the stats, it is that much, and it is that many. I hope I'm exaggerating. I wish I'm wrong.
I mean,
but from
the
what I've
Dominican
seen,
Republic can't really take in people because, I mean, almost half the country's in poverty. So, I mean, I understand why you're kicking out the Haitians.
We have another Robert here.
How many Roberts? Is it the third one? The third Robert tonight? Yeah.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I've seen the movie like 5 times. I've even seen the whole movie in entire Spanish. All the music, dialogue, everything's in Spanish.
Okay.
The movie takes place in 1988, 30 years ago. I think a lot of people miss that. And while Washington Heights was like 30 years ago. So the Puerto Ricans were there first, and the Cubans and the Mexicans. The Dominicans came in and they took over. So you always have like a leftover group. We left in 1987. And we moved to Queens, and I got my family out. So I do know Lin Miranda and the Mirandas.
Are you Puerto Rican?
I'm a New Yorican. I follow you. I love you to death. You're amazing, all your stuff. So I've been trying to reach out to you, and I could be your father's little brother. So I was born in 1960, but here in New York, and what we went through. So, you know, it's just like seeing the city change and how everything is. I still live in New York, but I thought the movie was really well done. We went from 1961 West Side Story to 1997 Selena to 2021 In the Heights. And we're complaining when we wouldn't have even gotten someone like Leslie to even be a lead before, because everybody would be like white passing Latinos. You know? So, and I think, but in New York, like the Dominicanos are the #1 Hispanics now. They're #1. And if you want to look at your educated Dominicanos, you go to Corona Heights, Queens. Okay, that's where everybody has houses and all that stuff is going on. So, you know, it's like you have to know the city and how it works. But I think he did a great job. I also saw the Broadway play. And in the Broadway play, everybody was light-skinned. Because you have to get all those Americanos to come and spend that money on those $200 tickets. So I think he did take it into account. But, you know, we can always do better for the next time. You know what I'm saying?
It's a business at the end of the day. And a business, the main goal is to make money, you know?
Yeah, but for the Mexicans on the West Coast to say that they're boycotting the movie because we're Hispanics and we're from the Caribbean, and then it's like the African Americans to not support us. This movie has bombed 62%. It is going to be the biggest bomb of all time. And then here we are looking for representation. So, like, I mean, I don't think that's a good way for us to support. I don't care who it is. I just want to see my people on the screen. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
like
no,
we will get paid eventually.
But the thing
let
about
me ask you something. Who you seen make the most? I don't want to call it complaint, but criticisms about this whole Afro Latino representation. Who you think has been doing it the most? Or who have you
To
seen?
me, it's always, and I would say this as an educated person that has African American friends, where we've been friends for almost 40 years. I say, the only things you guys have ever done for me is once in Selena. I have seen every black thing that ever comes out, play, whatever it is. I said, and now because of the the colorism, I mean, everybody just took that as a pass to like, oh, I'm not gonna go see that movie. Oh, it's racist. And I'm like, are you kidding me? See the movie, because when you see the movie, you're not gonna see all of that stuff they're talking about. You do see Jamaica in there, Trinidad. You do see the people there from the Caribbean.
Nah, you did. There wasn't Jamaica up there, bro. Come on, don't do that. Jamaica wasn't represented at all.
Oh, you didn't see Jamaica?
Maybe
Okay,
a flag
watch it
or
again.
something.
With a Jamaican flag. He comes all the way from the beginning to the end. He is shaking that flag. All there is. Okay, I was with my friends from the Caribbean, and we were all looking for our flags.
Who wants a flag, nigga? That's nothing. Come on.
No, a flag does represent, but still, like, but also like, but the main theme of it is.
I'm not watching a movie to see a flag. That's stupid.
But the main theme of it,
it's
even
not
if you have
stupid. The name of the musical is called Bandera, which is flag, and you're showing all your flags, and you don't see your flag, your feelings get hurt. But if you see your flag, you're saying, I see my flag, because my Haitian friend didn't see his flag. And his
I'm not watching a movie for a flag. I don't give a fuck.
Okay, well, you know, I mean, then it's cool, though.
Like, come on, look.
It's cool.
If you wanna make a movie in America and you want to watch black people to watch it, you're gonna have to have black people in it. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be black Americans.
There are black people in it.
Like, for example,
there are black people in it. So when you make your movies, like I see so many black people,
they watched it.
Do you see people that are blue black? How about when you make your movies?
When you watch
blue black?
For example, that movie, they had black people in it. They were Jamaican black people. We still watched it.
Were we complaining because there wasn't a Puerto Rican flag in it or a Dominican flag?
They didn't need Puerto Rican viewers to watch it.
Yo, I'm 60 years old. I grew up with every time I saw us on screen, it was a white person playing us. When I saw Aliens 2, Ramos was a badass bitch.
Ramos,
And if that's
2.
cool with
She was a
you, then that's
badass
cool with
lesbian
you.
bitch. Guess what? She was a Jewish girl.
And if that's
They
cool with you,
play
that's cool with
us.
you.
We don't get to
It's
play
a different world,
ourselves. We're
though.
getting to play ourselves. Yo, I'm
Yeah, and you guys
60. You
should have
told me how
supported
old you are,
better.
but if I could be your
You
father,
should have
then it's
supported
like
better. You should have
respect.
supported better. You
Of course I
you're
supported it.
60.
I support Broadway. I support everything. I support the Hispanic
Right,
Federation,
but
Banco
did the
Popular,
other
the
Hispanic support it?
Mirandas,
Did the other
Galas,
Hispanic support it?
anything for the Latino community. I'm an activist
Did
for
the
all of that
other
stuff. And I
Hispanic,
know all my
did the
history.
other
That's
ones
why I
do it?
follow this girl because I'm proud that she knows
Did
her damn
the
history. She
other
researches it.
Hispanic support it? Did the
Yeah,
other
because you think
Hispanic
they teach us
support it?
about Dominicans in our school? About Puerto Ricans in our
So
school?
why you
No,
didn't
you gotta go to
support it
college for
then?
that.
Why you didn't support it
They
then?
don't
No,
teach us
we
about
learn
us. We're
about black
sitting
and
there.
white in schools.
Wait.
They're
So
not
you came
teaching
on
us
here
about black
saying,
people either. But guess what? I
Well,
sat in those classes too, and I
February.
sat in the Holocaust classes too, just like Christina does. Right? We sit there and we get the information, but they don't teach us that. So a lot of people don't know their history. So if this guy's giving
that's
you a
on
little bit
them.
of that, he wanted it to be a celebration for everybody. So it's not just a Dominican movie, but predominantly, yes, it is a Dominican neighborhood. And I think that came across, and they can do better for next time. This was filmed in 2019, before the George Floyd thing, before all these other things happened. Before COVID, before that. I'm sure that Steven Spielberg is making adjustments to West Side Story. So that he doesn't have to go through this. So this product was already out.
I feel you, but look, people like seeing them on screen. I know for a fact I'm not sitting down watching a musical. I only watched this musical because it was New York and because of the controversy. That's it. If this was a regular movie that
I
came
watched
out,
this
I
musical
was not
because
watching it.
West Side Story has been my Bible since 1961. I was in college before I realized that Natalie Wood was not Puerto Rican, that they had to put on brown makeup. And we watched that every year for Christmas. It came out. I am the child of those Puerto Ricans. So it's like we don't get all of this. So I'm saying that we're getting this representation. And everybody knows for Dominicans get representation. Oh, we know that's huge. That's huge. So that they got this and they got them on screen. I mean, it's like you think there's like all these Dominican actors out there. There was like so many to choose from. No, you need representation for these people to say, hey, you know what? Maybe I should be an actor. Maybe I can do this. This is big for the Dominicans, and I'm here to support them.
If you do that, bro, listen. Do you know what was Do you know what's the first
Robert,
mostly black cast movie in America? I'm gonna ask you that.
Do I know what?
The first movie in America with the mostly black cast.
There's been a lot of black movies, bro. What are you talking about? A lot. What do you mean?
Tyler Perry has
from
his own
which time
studios in
period,
Atlanta now.
You want to go to Cabin in the Sky? You want to go to Carmen? You want to go to Stormy Weather? You want to go to? Lady Sings the Blues, The Great White Hope.
You know what I'm saying? Who do you think supported those movies the most?
The black exploitation films. Because I was there. You want me to go through all of this?
But listen, like
Irene Cara was Puerto Rican, okay, right? But she was playing a black girl.
That's not what I'm saying. You listen to what I'm saying?
Like Robert
why
was saying,
the Latinos watch the movie because you came on and you said you're disappointed that they didn't support it, right? Right?
Excuse me?
You said you're disappointed that the African Americans aren't supporting it, right?
Of course, I'm disappointed that if we're people of color,
but I'm saying
first movie comes out, it's supposed to be great, and the first thing they throw at it before the whole colorism thing is the Mexicans on the West Coast said, this is not Latino, these are Hispanics, these are, when they say that, that means they don't want to claim their blackness, so they say, this is Hispanics, these are people from the Caribbean, so therefore, we're not going to support this. So I'm like, okay, we supported you, Selena, but you don't want to support our stuff. Right.
Well, then as soon as the black people, anytime the black Americans hear anything about colorism or anything, that's already boycott. That's already boycott. They're not even going to bother watching the movie, bother anything, because that's already like, okay, I'm not going to go see that. That's racist.
Hey, so Robert, tell me what were you saying that in the West Coast they weren't supporting it? Can you tell me about that? I didn't know that.
Los mexicanos estaban diciendo que no iban a ir a ver la película porque decía que no eran de ellos, porque ellos son latinos, que estos son de gente de you know, from the Caribbean, you know, like the Hispanics, you know, because people want to make that distinction that they're Latinos and we're Hispanics, which basically just comes down to that we admit that we have black people. You know, that's all it really means. That's their bullshit. And I'm like, you can't do that. But after the controversy with the colorism, they started buying out movie theaters on the West Coast because people said if they stop, you know, to my white friends that were saying this, guess what the issue was? They said, you all look the same to me. Right. So the thing is, among ourselves, we know our accents and we know the stuff, but the white people looking at this say, you all look the same to me. It don't make a difference.
Yeah, another variation of Mexican.
But the thing is, there was every flag represented in there. That's the thing. He tried to represent everybody.
Right. Durante la fiesta de banderas, and I'm saying like that Jamaican guy was going off. Right. They had the Colombian flag, the different, you know, like, and I was like, oh, this is cool.
Sorry.
I agree with Christina. Like I was saying, he's Puerto Rican. He's playing Dominican. The other girl's Dominican. She's playing Puerto Rican. Someone has to sit down and explain that. But I was just like, it's okay. At the end of the day, we're all the same. But yeah, like, you know, like, hey, the guy they want from like When They See Us Coming, El Dominicanito ese negrito. You know, they won the Emmy. You know who I'm talking about? He's Dominican.
Yeah.
Put him in the movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? He has an Emmy.
Yeah.
Right. Like, you know, I mean, that's cool. I mean, my thing is, I'm an HR person. I've been hiring my people, Lo Negro, for years. If I can give you a shot, if you qualify, I'm going to tell you, like, say this and get you in there. I never thought in my whole life that I had to look and say, pero tú eres más negrito, so déjame pasarte a ti. No, I thought I was passing my people, you know, like hooking up my people, because we don't have that hookup. And I'm saying, like, now all these years, I'm saying, damn, I should have looked for the darkest one of all of us.
So can you tell me, like,
I was trying to bring the most qualified one, you know what I'm saying?
Who, like, what interviews or like what stuff videos in California or the West Coast where they're saying this? Like, I can go see or look this up.
Oh, it's in response when the film first premiered, because that was the first response before the colorism thing came out, and then all of a sudden when the Roots interview came out, and then she said, well, it would have been good to see the representation, and she said, but in the leads. But then I said, okay, well, one of the guys is African American. A lot of my friends, obviously, they saw it. I went with a whole group of people. And they were like, oh, but I just thought he was just like a black Hispanic. What are they talking about? I said, well, no, like in the play, he really is an African American, and there is an issue with the mother and the father not wanting her to develop a relationship with him because he's not, you know, one of them. But that was taken out of the movie, you know, because this movie is from the play's from 2008. So a lot of things have happened. So I guess they figured that would not have been cool. You know, so they took that out. You know, and you know that exists, the colorism, when they don't want you to bring someone that's outside of like us, you know, like someone who's not Latino. And then, you know, sometimes they don't want you to bring in like other Latinos. I'm from 1960, so I can tell you we were Spanish. People were still Negroes, okay? And that's the way it was. And the teachers were white, and the way we were treated. And we all had to be put in Catholic school because they wanted to beat our ass every day. So they had to put us in Catholic school because, you know, then that way it's like they were not beating us up. You know, and people married the Polish and the Irish and the Italians, you know, but then the people that came in the 50s say, no more, We're going to be Latino. We're going to stay Latino. We're going to reserve our culture. And that's when the Puerto Rican Day Parade started in 1958. And it was like we were no longer assimilating into society, into black and white. We started saying, no, we're going to preserve our culture and have that here.
Into black and white, right? Yeah, because everything in America is either black or white.
Yeah, I heard Christina's story. Like, I loved your father. We had an interview with your father, and I said, "Wow, that's interesting." But he had the experience over there. I had my experience here in America, and what we went through. You know what I'm saying? And it's like people don't get that. They want to disconnect us because we're New Yorkers and they're in Puerto Rico. But I'm like, but we represent every day. Every day I have to tell people where I'm from, where I was born, that I'm from here, that everywhere I travel. I traveled for 20 years throughout Latin America for American companies. I would say I'm Puerto Rican. Nobody would know what the hell that was. I would have to say, oh, de España. And then Jennifer Lopez, Ricky Martin, Mark Anthony, Shakira came on the scene. I would say, I'm Puerto Rican, because all the girl in the office would be saying, tú hablas español y salsa y merengue, pero ¿cómo va a ser si tú eres americano? Well, then after that, they were like, but you're Puerto Rican. Right? They knew what a Puerto Rican was. And then obviously I threw the Dominican and then it was like, oh, los Dominicanos, right. To let them know that we exist over here. We Americans over here. You know, they're like, how this guy knows how to speak Spanish and know how to dance these things. But yeah, that was before the internet.
Yeah, but also I think like there's a difference from the West Coast to the East Coast in the kind of Hispanics. But who else did you see this complaint from about? Oh, we're not like them, like other than Mexicans from Cali.
It was just the Mexicans and people from South America, you know, because they want to make that distinction that we're not like South American. I did my ancestry DNA. I get hit up by people from South America all the time. Either it was the Indians or it was the colonizers, but we're connected. So you know, because nobody hits me up from Africa because you know they don't have a good database with that one. But right, so we're connected somehow. So you know what I'm saying? It's saying we're connected. But I've been through Mexico, Colombia, Guatemala, all these places. I mean, they're just like us. I mean, everybody's amazing. Latino people are amazing everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has great hearts. You know, but when I heard that, and then after the backlash, then they said that the Mexican organizations over there started buying out movie theaters so that the movie will do well, but it was too late. So now the movie is considered the biggest bomb of the year. So Dominicans get their first movie, and look at this.
Well, hopefully, if it's actually any good,
the wrong community, man.
Yo, man, I saw it 5 times, and I'm taking more people this weekend. I went for the Puerto Rican Day Parade. That's what I did. I'm trying to like get it out there to tell people like we can make it a hit afterwards, but we have to make these things hits. I know some people don't like the music, but I mean the music is very powerful because you know it's really related to our experiences here. You know, yeah, but.
It can be one of those movies that become kind of like a cult status that may not have been
like a sleeper hit afterwards.
Yeah.
But they were expecting this to be up for Oscars. They were expecting it to hit 30 million, and it only hit 11 million.
Nah.
Well, no. let it flop, let it do whatever it has to do. But like I said before, you know, it opens up the door for, you know, maybe another Dominican director or producer, Puerto Rican or Cuban director or producer to make a even better movie. You know what I mean? That opens the door for somebody.
Mexican directors that make all those movies, those hits, and got all those Oscars. But the thing is, their subject matter is not us.
That's what I'm saying. It opens the door.
Million.
It opens the door for us. You know, it could be some independent thing that happens.
I'm a finance person, so $65 million, and you're only bringing up 11 million. That's a loss. So you know what? They're not going to greenlight that again.
They pandered to the wrong community. This all comes down
to money at the end of the day.
They should have aimed at a different community than like all Hispanics, because all Hispanics aren't going to watch it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I also thought, like, did the African American community, were they really going to go out and support it? Or did people think, oh, this is going to be all Spanish? Like, they're going to speak in Spanish, they're going to sing in Spanish. Like, I'm not going to
Yeah,
understand
it looked like a Spanish movie. You know what I'm saying? And
Okay,
even in the
because
movie,
I
they were
understand
speaking
that too,
Spanish, and I was like, ah.
right, and I want to know that from the marketing, because I know with my friends, I mean, anything black of value, I'm saying, not every little thing. I mean, we are right there to support it. You know what I'm saying? Because we know how important this is. We want our stories told. You know, we live in the same community, so you know what? I mean, you know, so a lot of my black friends, they speak Spanish just because we've been friends for so long. You know what I'm saying? Like, they speak Spanish, right? Like, we, you know, it's
Yeah,
we
I had
share
a
cultures.
lot of Latin friends growing up too. You know, I know what you mean.
Right, exactly. So,
But
but I'm just saying, it's like
like
I tell people, say, let's just go see it. You know, let's just go see it. West Side Story's coming out now. That's another opportunity. This is a remake, so let's see. But if it's the same thing again, that, you know, they don't want, like, the Haitians, when, I mean, the Dominicans were not, like, dark enough, then you know what? Just hire Haitians to play the Dominicans, all right? And then everything will be fine. Right? Isn't that the big argument between the Haitians and the Dominicans? Toda esta mierda is bullshit, you know, like, so just hire Haitians, and okay. And then guess what? Then we will be complaining, right? And be saying, wait a
Yeah,
minute,
you
right?
can't please everybody.
yeah,
Right,
you
you can't
gotta know
please
who,
everybody.
you gotta know which demographic to aim at. Cause like, look, let's be honest. If you aim at Black Americans, a bunch of people are gonna watch the movie. A bunch of them. Cause the
No,
way
it's like
Black Americans
somebody
go
mentioned
wild,
earlier, like, Zoe Salana playing Nina, right?
see,
That was
that was
atrocious. But the thing is, it was an
yeah, that was
English
bad. That was bad.
production, right? And she had the money, she had the star power, and she thought she was doing something good. Ella tenía el corazón bueno, right? She thought she was doing something good. But Nina Simone represents, like, Jim Crow, segregation, all that kind of stuff. When it comes to that, we have to understand, even if we're Black people, that's not our history. Our history happens somewhere else.
When it
You know what I'm
comes to that
saying?
though,
So,
when it comes to that, it's because Zoe
so she don't
Saldana,
qualify.
she's a very I don't see race type of person, you know. So like that doesn't match.
You know, people
Nina
that say
Simone.
that are full of shit.
You gotta see race.
I want to see
know,
race,
you
and I
know.
want to appreciate it, and I want to see
Exactly, you know
culture,
what
and
I'm
I want to
saying?
appreciate it.
So they was telling her, yo, if you don't want to see race, that's fine. You just can't do that here. Go on the other side with that bullshit, you know?
That's
Which is
that's
what they
not our
should.
story.
I 100,
You know what I'm saying?
100% support when Black Americans say that. Like, yo, if you don't believe in racism, get the fuck away from us. Like, that's not you. That's not our business, you know.
Yeah, but
We gotta
the
fight.
guys
We
that be
fighting.
played with too is that they'll get British. They'll get the British, you know, like Black people to come in and play these movies.
Yeah, we were
Because, you
talking
know, if you
about
say you
that
don't want to play
earlier.
them, then you know, they bring them in, and then they're winning Oscars and getting Oscar nominations. But you know, I mean, if Zoe said, like, don't play Nina. I mean, I know Nina's story. Nina is very powerful. That should have been for an you know, African American actress, and you know, and if you have to put blackface and a nose and all that kind of stuff, you should already be questioning that. But again, that was a long time ago, and we've grown a lot since then. But when I heard that, I was like, "What? How is she playing this?"
One thing I gotta say is, like, now Hollywood is dying down. We don't have to do what they used to do. Like, we can represent ourselves now. Representation can be like how we want it to be. But Hollywood is dying. Matter of fact, Hollywood is no longer.
And you saw what that did. This shows you what that did, bro. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
This is the
When you
perfect.
look
The door,
Like
door is open.
they were waiting back. They were holding back to see for this movie to fail. Los Blanquitos were like, okay, you see, it didn't do well, so you know what? It'll be another 30 years before we get something.
No, it's gonna be.
There's
I
so
think
much
it'll be
talent out
sooner.
there.
It's gonna be
This
sooner
was
because I
have
was
to be
telling them
done.
they have no creativity or originality in Hollywood. Everything is a reboot. You know, So this is like one of the perfect times for anybody that's into films to make a
They
short
even
film
went,
based on reality. You know what I mean? And they can make some good money.
they even wanted to make a New Jack City again, and recently they did the back or coming from Africa with whatever the name of that movie is that was with
Coming
Eddie
to
Murphy.
America with Eddie Murphy. Yeah.
So
Coming to
everything,
America too. That it
yeah,
didn't
You
do
everything
that
watched
is
it?
well.
everything is like a remake. It's funny.
No. Leave New York City alone. That was a movie of its time.
Yeah,
It
that's a
worked.
classic.
It worked in
Next
its
thing you
time.
know, they're
That
gonna
doesn't
try
need
to
to
do
be.
Boys in the Hood.
No, but that doesn't need to be remade. And Boys in the Hood, the same thing. It's a product of
Imagine,
its time. It worked in its time. That
yeah.
you can't remake
Yeah.
Imagine they try to
movies like
remake
that.
Scarface. Imagine they try to remake Scarface. That'd be horrible.
Okay. This is getting ridiculous now. They need to leave all of that alone. But
That'd be
Who they
Scarface
gonna
with Al
use?
that'd be
Pacino
horrible.
is a remake. Scarface is a remake of the one of the
Yeah.
Exactly.
original one
Yeah,
from the
true.
1930s.
Yeah, that's true. But still, but boy, was the original Scarface based on the Cuban migration?
No. The original
But when they
Scarface
make remakes,
is Prohibition era gangster movie. It's a
Yeah, I
Prohibition era
know, I
from
know.
1932, I think.
It was in black. Yeah, it was in
yeah,
black
but
and white. I know which one you're talking
Yeah,
about.
they just took the gangster part and they put it into that timeline.
Well, I think he just made a
Yeah,
gangster movie
they
with
made
the same
it
name,
about
but
the Marielito, the Marielito boat lifters. But the
yeah,
original was about
yeah,
the
that's
Prohibition
something they
era.
should do, like La
yeah.
Mariposa, yeah, La Marabil sisters. But look, in the Heights 30 years ago, crack was a big epidemic that was going on. None of those streets would have been nice and clean the way they are in the movie. There was crack and AIDS going on. People were dying left and right. Okay, all of that was left out of the movie because it was supposed to be just joyful. But I mean, we left that neighborhood, okay? And we got a house and we got out of there because it was getting dangerous. They were throwing people off the roof. That's how bad. There was a lot of drug activity going on, in the Heights back then in 1988. Which he's leaving all of that out and making it all Latino like.
Okay, so that's why. So because of the time period, that's why there were more Puerto Ricans in the movie. That's what you're saying.
Exactly, because it changes. Like every 20 years is a generation. So when people look at it, and if you're looking at people say, "Oh, well, I live there now." I'm like, but did you live there, 30 years ago? Were you even born in 1988? Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Right? It's a different neighborhood. Right.
Okay.
Era diferente. So.
Yeah. No sé nada de eso. Yo soy isleño. I don't know anything about that.
But it went over a lot of people's head, and a lot of people are comparing it to like they say, "Oh, well, I live 5 blocks from there." They're comparing it to, Washington Heights 2021. No, it's Washington Heights, 1988. Okay, before blackout.
Right.
And people jump over that, and that's why the girls are dressed. Christina probably knows because she's a nice looking girl. She dresses nice. Look at the way those girls were dressed. That's 2021 dressing, right? That's the way girls dressed back then, right? It's like 30 years ago, summertime. So it's a nice going down memory lane thing, to see that's what. Remember, no cell phones, nothing, all that stuff, no pica, this and that, all that. That's the way it was for us, right? We didn't have no cell phones.
That's when you actually had to socialize. When you actually had to go to places with meeting people, meeting spots, actually meeting people face to face. That's how it used to be when I was younger. There was no such thing as social media. That when I was younger, maybe cell phones, and they were actually to make phone calls. That's the only thing that they could do.
Yeah, that was their only purpose. Other than that, you had to
the
use
thing
the
is, the
payphone.
girls had to call all the time, like every half an hour from the street phone. And guess what? They never failed not to call. The mother miraba por la ventana que tú estabas ahí, right? And you will be begging for more. And it's like, but those girls made it to the wedding in place. Exactly. They were premature babies, but there wasn't all this baby mama, baby daddy drama, right? People were like, you got a girl in a certain way, you're gonna get married. That's just the way it was. People didn't play. That was all the Latino stuff. So But you know, it was a good time. Washington Heights is a wonderful neighborhood, and I'm glad that it got celebrated. You know, so
yeah.
But I think some
All
people
right.
thought it was all going to be Spanish for some reason. I just think they thought it was a Spanish movie or something. But you can watch it in Spanish on HBO Max, and it is great in Spanish. Everything is Spanish, music, everything. You know.
Okay. I guess
It's good too.
eventually I'll check it out.
Yeah. Great movie. And Christina, I want to tell you, I enjoy you so much. Your Atlanta trip, your father, I've been watching you for a while. I just want to hit you up for a while. I did this a lo loco, pero you have an amazing channel and you do a lot to educate us. And I agree with you a lot. I mean, you're a wonderful human being.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah. When you say, I'm from Virginia, I don't know these New Yorkers here. But yeah, it's like, yeah, I know Virginia, but yeah. Very good people. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I talk to more New Yorkers than anything now, man. I'll talk to people up
Yeah, and
here.
I was going to educate you. Every time I was going to hit you up, I was going to say, girl, I could be a resource for you because I'm a history person. I have a lot of stuff that you do, you know, and even when you put together Cuba, Puerto Rico, and the Dominican Republic, and I was like, girl, put Dominican Republic first because Española came first. Like, you know, we come from you. You know, when I did my ancestry, those people were coming from the DR to come over to Puerto Rico to marry those Taína women. You know what I'm saying? People always leave out that in 1514 you could marry a Taína woman. That's always left out. That's like we're not taught that, but you know the whole like rape thing, and they rape this and they rape that. And I'm like, I met my grandmother from 1857. Okay, 1857. She didn't talk nothing about being raped or nothing like that. You know, but she hated the gringos that came in there and invaded Puerto Rico, like the Americans did. That she had a problem with.
Damn. Yeah. You guys, I think I'm actually gonna be ending the stream soon.
Okay.
Oh, this guy's so
All
freaking
right.
damn.
No.
Well, what do you think about the movie, Christina? Like, do you feel that was represented, or
Did I feel that who exactly? Dominicans or just Latinos?
Yeah, they had like the chicose and the rice and all that. Like, you didn't feel like it was there?
I mean, I don't know. For me, I could just be biased because, you know, I am Dominican. And I feel like Dominicans have just a very particular way about ourselves. I felt like I would have liked to see more of that Dominican culture being represented just because it is about the Heights, and Heights is predominantly Dominican. I just didn't get that feel from the movie. But overall, I think it was a good representation for Hispanics in general. So, you know, I can't complain about that. You know, it was like pretty much a whole Latino cast. It did showcase Caribbean Hispanic culture. So I can't be mad at it. You know. But yeah, could have done a little more for the Dominicans though, for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, they did a lot. I mean, you know, there were a lot of people in it. So, I mean, they even put Valentina, the drag queen, was in it. I mean, they were trying to throw everything in the kitchen sink at it, you know, to having inclusion.
Yeah.
You know.
That's
so, you know, I was like, oh, okay. So, you know, I mean, I didn't understand. I mean, I thought that I mean, what's her name? Leslie, she says she is African American, but then like people start saying, oh, but you're not dark enough. And I'm like, oh my God, like, okay. It's like, okay. Even she says,
I thought she was Puerto Rican.
Wait, Leslie Grace?
Whoa. I thought she was Puerto Rican.
Yeah, she played the Puerto Rican.
She's Dominican.
She's Dominican.
Yeah.
You know, that's the first thing we do is look at the cast and see what their descendants.
Yeah.
She's Dominican, and the other one's Puerto Rican, and then the Vanessa's Mexican, and you know, so I think they were trying, and the other one is Panamanian. That was the original Mimi for Rent, and Dacha is Dominican, and like the other one is Chilean. You know, but
yeah, but you know,
Jimmy Smith is Puerto Rican.
Hey, Terrell, I see you in the back.
But hearing that, you know, it's like, you know, when you list the cast like that, it's like, yeah, this doesn't seem like it's for me. You know, just thinking about that. You know what I'm saying?
Danny, you ain't right. But
Well,
yeah.
like, damn.
Cause ain't nobody donate. I only got one donation a night, man. Nah, I'll be in here all night. But yeah, y'all.
Well, let's just hope. Let's just hope that they do another one. Non-musical about Washington Heights. A non-musical.
Yes, non-musical. Yes, just a regular movie. Yes.
Yeah. They deserve it. They're number one in New York. They contribute a lot to us. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, number one. Calm down. Calm down.
Yeah, they're the number one Hispanics.
Being number one.
The Mexicans are picking
number
up.
one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
number one.
Hispanics.
Be
Yeah,
proud
sure.
of that,
Yeah. Number one Hispanics. Yeah. Man.
Puerto Ricans are in
Puerto
Orlando,
Ricans,
Florida.
they
They
moving.
moved. They shifted.
Yeah, they moving to Florida now. All the Puerto Ricans.
Yeah, I have a sister in Florida, and she tells me about moving there. I don't know because I know that it's overpopulated. There are too many
the
people over
traffic
there.
is traffic's ridiculous, Ramon.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is.
It is
So,
getting really packed over there. They're developing. Because I was out there in Orlando. I was out there from like November to January earlier this year.
that's what my
and
family is.
But that's like a
Yeah.
swamp. Christina,
In
you
Orlando?
were just
No.
in New York, right? I saw like a video. Were you just in New York with your friends? Christina.
Tina.
Sorry.
Were you just in New York?
Yeah, I was just there this past weekend with people from
God.
YouTube though, not like my friend, like personal friends. But yeah, I met up with other people, YouTubers and stuff. So it was cool.
Well, maybe next time. I'm a native New Yorker. I could show you around like in half an hour. Give you like all the
New
ups and
York.
downs. Yeah, New York.
Yeah,
Bro, I was telling her she gotta go to Bronx
I
and
may go back
Brooklyn.
before the end of the summer. I might try to go again. Cause
Well, I live on 14th Street in a
Bronx
condo, so you don't need no Airbnb. I could give you one.
Wait, say that again.
I say I live on 14th Street in the heart of New York City. I say in a condominium. I said so you don't need no Airbnb. I could give you one of the rooms. I feel you like you're my family.
Hey.
I listen to you all the time, so it's like I think you're like a
14th Street?
really cool person.
Money man.
Con respeto.
Money man. I see you.
Yeah, money man, because you know what, education got me out of the projects, and I then
Hell
got
yeah.
everybody else out of the projects. All the grandkids are educated now, so that's what happens when you get the education.
Hell yeah, bro.
So,
nice.
but you
Gotta
still
leave.
go get back to your
Leave it
community.
behind.
You have to still go back and give back. You live in Bronx?
I wouldn't go back, but I live in Long Island now. But yeah, I left a couple of years ago.
Oh, so you're not even in New York City. You're not part of the boroughs. You're in Long Island. Okay.
I'm
But that's
over here in
anything,
Brentwood, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
We just
it was too much. I was like, it's time for me to go. Yeah.
Yeah, it's time.
I didn't want to raise my kids in like a I didn't want to raise my kids in an apartment building, Have a backyard, whatever they can do. But I do miss the city.
I've been here for like 25 years, and I grew up in the projects with like about 2,000 families. Everybody knew me. Everything here, you want some groceries, some eggs, milk. You got to go to the store, man. That people don't even know you. The elevators, like nothing. It's like everybody's white. I'm the only Latino, and then the doorman. That's it.
If you live
So
in
I know the treatment. Right.
If you lived in the projects and you survive, if you lived in the projects and you survive, you can live and you can make it anywhere. New York City Housing
but I'm saying
Authority.
the difference of like this
man.
would be
Crunching
difference
up
being in
crack
the
bottles, going up
building
the
with like
stairs.
235 units, and you don't really know your neighbors. Everybody keeps to themselves. People don't. It's not the Spanish culture that I was. That I do miss that part. You know what I'm saying? That your people do keep to themselves. They mind their business. But the doormen are all Latinos, so they always let me know what's going on. Where I don't sit on the board. So They give you the
like
real deal.
the to-go person for the 411.
Yeah, because I gotta look out for them too. Because sometimes they don't. These people. They're freaking out because of pandemic.
Nah, I don't miss the projects at all.
All right.
Man. I'm good.
I don't miss it
bodies in the
either, but I
staircase.
do miss a part of community.
That was
Yeah.
shootouts, having to sleep in the
Yeah, I
bathtub
don't.
sometimes. Nah, I'm
Yeah, I
good.
don't miss the gunshots. I don't miss that at all. Some days it was night after night after night. I'm okay with the
Well,
quiet.
back home, back when I'm from, I didn't live in the projects, but I had the projects next to me, so I would hear the gunshots, and sometimes I would hear the shootouts and the problems, and the junkies sometimes will spill out into my neighborhood. So, I mean, yeah, I'm somewhat familiar with how it goes.
It's fun when you're young,
Yeah.
but then once you get to a certain age, it's like enough of the bullshit. Enough's enough.
Yeah, I gotta get the fuck.
No, you don't want to be around
every
that when
5
you become
blocks,
an
New York
adult.
changes.
Yeah, that's a fact,
true.
man. Especially in
That's
Brooklyn.
true.
So
Oh man,
somebody telling you where
It's
they live in New
changing
York
again.
really doesn't mean anything until you get there. You're like, oh, okay. Yeah, every 5 blocks it changes. It could be a bad block or like an Asian block or it changes.
you could be right
There's
next
a lot
to
of
like,
characters. So
bro, Hell's Kitchen, being right next to Chelsea will always fuck my mind up.
yeah, Chelsea Hell's Kitchen, something coming. Well,
Like,
Chelsea.
that'll
Chelsea
always
was
fuck my
Puerto
mind up.
Rican, right? People took over. A lot of the LGBT community took over Chelsea, but guess what? There's a blackout. All the Puerto Ricans are there with their babies and all that because you don't move out. That's what I'm saying. That's what people don't realize. Everybody does not move out, right? So you could come and take over
Stay
a
around.
neighborhood, but the leftovers, right? So you're always gonna have black people. You're always gonna have the Puerto Ricans, whoever was there before, the Ellis Island people, the Jews, whatever. Like they're still gonna hang on. So that's what
Yeah,
people don't
they
realize
coming
about
back.
New York sometimes.
They're coming back too, like in hordes.
Yeah.
It's like, dang, they really returning here.
But DR was the one that put like the Heights in the map. You know what I'm saying? They cleaned it up. I mean, there was a lot of drugs, but they cleaned it up and they made it what it is today. So but you guys
it's
do
going
have
back. It's going back though, because they've been acting crazy these last couple months in the Heights.
No, it's good. I hope they do a movie, something non-musical, because he was raised in the Heights. His father started the Puerto Rican Federation, and then it became the Hispanic Federation, and it's all social services for all the Latino community, immigration, AIDS, social abuse, and anything you could think of. So they're very powerful in the Latino community. So I know that's how they're hooking up a lot of this. A lot of the money's coming from these.
Yeah,
The
they're
father helps
connected.
manages
The
him.
Mirandas, they're well connected.
Yeah, the Mirandas are like, but they're really good people. His father was one of my mentors. So I remember when he was like going to college. So yeah, like, and to think that he's done all of this, I'm like, wow, I'm very proud of him. So, but they're gonna get you somewhere. So it's like all of a sudden they're trying to stop his shift. So, but he's gonna do something for all of us. Todos Latinos. They don't leave anybody out because that's the way. We're a community here. So we're like the Al Sharpton. He's like the Al Sharpton. Let something happen to a Latino. Like when J-Lo got arrested with P. Diddy and that Spock, she was called in. That's why that relationship was over. People don't understand. There's a lot of Latino power. The Latino community is very powerful here. People think it's just a bunch of people like running around buying food. No, there's boards. There's a lot of things going on. So there's a lot of there's a lot of pull. The vote is very important. We voted yesterday. Okay, well, good
No,
night.
poll is cool.
Oh yeah, the mayor race.
The poll,
Yeah, the
the
mayor
vote of the
race.
poll is cool as long as you can make sure that those candidates follow up on their promises. I mean, that they keep their word as to what they promise.
Well, my thing is to fight for the brown and black people to make sure about this COVID thing, and they get the benefits that are available to them out there. They're paying your rent, they're paying your internet, they're paying, like, and everything is in Spanish. Always make sure that things are bilingual, and make sure that we go out there and we do the work, because guess what? It's like we don't take advantage of the benefits. You need somebody that looks like you that can explain it in your language to convince you that this is good for you and help you fill out the papers or whatever, and it's always doing that, for the black and the brown community all the time. So yeah, they don't know. They'll put it together, and the first thing I always have to say, they say, oh yeah, and I said it has to be in Spanish, make sure it's in Spanish. And they just try to get over all the time.
Yeah, well, all the communities can advocate for their heritage to be represented, language and all. So yeah, not a problem with that.
We fought for the census when you were able to check down that you were Puerto Rican or Mexican, all that stuff, or you press 9 for Spanish. We fought for all of that. My generation fought for all of that. You think that mattered to African Americans and the white that they were Spanish? No, that mattered to us. We fought for that. Those are things you negotiate at the table.
Yeah.
So when you see those things, you're saying, okay, great. You think that who did that matter to? That mattered to us. That's why you see that like that, right? We didn't have those choices growing up. So, Christina, now it's your turn. You're the next generation. So, right? she's doing a great job already. But yeah, right. It's like take over.
Yeah. Well, you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and start wrapping this up. So to everyone that has joined, to those of you that are currently on the panel, thank you for coming on and sharing your opinions. Thank you to the 42 of you that are still in the live chat. To those of you that have stuck out the whole time from beginning to end, thank you very much.
42? Shit.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people in here, but I'm gonna just go ahead and cut it off. I'm getting tired.
Don't forget to say hello and thank your haters.
So, like,
you heard?
Huh?
Don't forget to thank those haters.
I always got thanks to the what is it, 6 dislikes now? Yes, to the 6 people that disliked. But shout out to the 63 of y'all that liked it.
But they're watching. They dislike, but they're watching the whole thing, so they can have something to talk about. Hell yeah! They're your fans anyway.
Secret fans. But yeah, so
she got her fans. Her fans are loyal. Todos los Latinos, we love her down. We know she's like she represents us.
Thank you.
I turned a lot of people onto her.
Oh, really? Oh, thank you.
Yeah, especially people don't get that teaching in school. I'm like, here's your lesson to everybody. It's like, here's your lesson. It's better than
wow, that's big. Yeah. That's big. You're being shown.
She does a great job. Let me tell you.
Tina being shown on classrooms. That's
I'm
big.
not gonna lie, I've had a few people ask me, I guess their teachers, like, hey, do you mind if I use this video to show some of my students? I'm like, really? Okay.
Really? Ooh.
Yeah, so
I'm so happy to hear that. Yeah.
Damn.
I was gonna try to hook you up with something like that. Okay, I'm glad you're doing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very important.
Good.
You do a very good job.
I need to get back to doing more of those. I've been meaning to do that. But I'll start working on it and I just don't finish.
But yeah, and then you do spreadsheets too. And I'm saying, she does it all. She does spreadsheets, everything. I'm like, wow, she handles everything. Well,
they take a lot of
department,
a lot of research,
Well, it's appreciated because it's very thorough and you can rely on it. It's like you speak the truth. It's very well researched.
Yeah. So. All right, y'all. Well, I don't know when I'll be going live again. Sometime eventually.
Tomorrow or Sunday. Yeah.
I think Fighter's going live tomorrow. I think. Sunday, maybe Sunday. I don't know. We'll see.
Nice story. Definitely.
I'm sure some topic can come up.
No, I wanted to do something like a celebration of Caribbean Heritage Month because it's June and June is almost ending.
Yes. Oh, yes, yes.
So I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I don't know.
There's a Dominican parade that comes up for the summer. I don't know if you guys do that in Virginia, but we have a big one here.
Yeah, I've been like once or twice before. Nah, they don't do that down here.
Okay, well, we have a big one here. I mean, I don't know because of COVID, but there's a big celebration with the Dominicans. We go to each other's parades, you know, it don't make a difference. Everybody's like, es la misma cosa. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't been to the Dominican parade up in New York since like 2007. It's been a long time.
No.
You know it's fun, but we can't touch each other anymore. We're dancing. We can't be merengue, nothing that. So, you know, what's the point, you know?
No, it's not merengue. It's not with the proper contact. It's not merengue.
Yeah. Well, you know,
ballroom
they
bullshit.
bailan como niño, you know, so you dance all the time, you know.
Yeah.
She was in her Atlanta thing going off on a Puerto Rican and said, "Oh, he don't know how to dance and he's Puerto Rican." I'm saying, like, no lo bailaron.
No, he was the one that told us that he gets made fun of and stuff because he's Puerto Rican and he don't
His parents failed him. His parents failed him.
I lived in Atlanta in 1993. There was no Latinos there. This one guy approached me in the Kmart and I spoke Spanish. And then afterwards he says, "Habla español." And then he said, "Where you live?" I said, "I live downtown. I work downtown." He said, "What restaurant do you work in downtown?" Just like that. What restaurant? I said, "I don't work in a restaurant. I work in an office." It's like, and now I see there's all these Latinos and all those clubs. And I was like, damn, the Latino population, like that video that you did. I was like, damn, she was having a lot of fun. I didn't know Atlanta was like that anymore. Right. There was no Latino there, you know, so yeah. So that's good. So
yes. All right, y'all. Well,
keep up the good work.
Thank you. Good night. Maybe I'll see if I go live Sunday and do the whole Caribbean thing.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Tina, thank you for having me. Thank you for having me on your panel and to the rest of the panel and chat. All right,
John,
have a good one, you all.
Robert. All right.
Nice
everyone.
panel, yeah.
Yes, it was good. It didn't get too crazy today.
Right, no fighting, just talking.
Yeah, no fighting, no arguing. Yeah. Yeah. All right, y'all. Peace.
Okay. God bless you. Thank you, Muñeca. Bye.
Bye.